I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. We're going to give this one last chance. We're going to give it one last chance. No?
It's usually about a 10-second delay and it's not coming
I know.
up.
Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on.
Oh, it just switched the light.
Is it good? Are we here?
I
You think we're
right.
here? Yay! Oh my heavens. Holy cow, you guys.
We're there.
Well, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Oh my gosh. Okay, here's the deal. It's time for, well, it's time for this. It's time for coffee. Ay. Oh gosh. Well, guys, I don't know. Who knows? Interesting. Obviously, I didn't have to sign a new one, but or start a new one, but it just, every time I would close it on my phone, it would say, do you want to resume? Do you want to end? And so I tried to shut it all completely. I shut everything completely. And then there it still was. So who knows? Who knows? The YouTubes, the internets, the webs, whatever. Well beyond my ability to troubleshoot. So let's have some coffee and then we'll get going. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy Saturday. Oh, yeah. Hang on. I just have to, maybe. Let me just, I know it's going to be all blurry for a sec. Things are looking weird. Things are looking a little weird. That's okay. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I still didn't drink a sip of coffee. I better do that really quick. Still red nails. They'll be gone next week. I'll take that gel off and back to the regular nails, but still red nails from the Rose Bowl game. Oh well, what do you do? Okay, another sip and then we're gonna get going, friends. Ooh, gosh, that's crooked. That is sure crooked, isn't it? Let's try that. Okay, I think we're good, right? Okay, friends, hello. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy New Year. This is the first, yeah, it is. It's the first Saturday of the new year because last Saturday was New Year's Eve, the 31st. So welcome, everyone. Happy 2023. So excited to have you here with me the first Saturday of a new year. So exciting. And thanks for those of you that have been with me the last, 10 minutes this morning through the technical difficulties and you were still hanging out. Thank you for sticking with me. Looks like we've got lots of folks in the chat. Mary J, I know I've missed a ton of chat. Mary J and Teresa, let me see if I can't get that. Oh, there we go. Martine from the Netherlands. Hi, Martine. D, hi D, Happy New Year. Mary J, Mindy, hi Mindy. And it looks like Kim too. Kim and Mindy, the Oklahomans. Terry, welcome. Oh, Terry, thank you. Terry just said she posted on the Facebook page. So if anyone, was lost, then hopefully they can be found. Mary Lee, oh yes, Mary Lee's in Barcelona. Mary Lee, Disneyland, right? Disney World, didn't I see Disney World, right? I've been following a little bit on your Facebook and it looks like you guys are having an amazing time. So, and I love that you popped in to say hello, Mary Lee. Hope you're having an amazing time. Kathy says, Happy New Year, fellow squirrels. Hi, Judith K. Debbie, and Debbie the Oklahoman. Yes, so I know we have multiple Oklahomans, just that Kim and Mindy, top of my head. Just keep crafting. Hi, it's Jen from Massachusetts. I made washi pages in my first few pages of the new year to start my traveler's notebook. I love that. Hi, Nancy from sunny Illinois. Gabby says, Happy New Year. Scrapbook Sister, good afternoon, squirrel side. Happy New Year. Susan, Happy New Year. Susan, please tell me you got my email about the tree, right? Please tell me you got my email about the tree. I think you guys maybe heard me talk about, maybe that was in my December daily. Probably my December daily. My squirrel tree, courtesy of the Texans. I think I have that in one of my lists today, so I'll mention that later. But Susan, please tell me you got my email from like right after you send it. JK, so excited the 22 and 3 project kit is shipping soon. Oh yes, it is done. I am very excited about it. It's right here. I will tell you guys last night, I spent probably a good hour in here trying to clean things up because it was a tornado. I posted on social media a photo, but it was a tornado. So I had to get all of the 2023 year in review work out of the way so we could do today, right? So we could list today. Colleen, hi Colleen from chilly Toronto. Ginger Kent says good morning from windy Southern Oregon. Fingers crossed for no power outage. Yes, fingers crossed. Just a Girl in Her Paper, Lindsay from Colden Gray, Ohio. Hi, Jessica. Jessica Kramer said she is new here. So welcome to Jessica and welcome to anyone else that is new. Actually, welcome to everyone. Everyone is always welcome. But you guys know I have a soft spot in my heart for the newbies. Whether you're new and haven't been here before, or whether you are new to watching a live and you've only been able to watch the replays in the past, or whether you're new to maybe even just popping up in the chat and saying hi. That's what I asked you guys for Christmas for last year, was if you were new to just pop up in the chat and say, hi, I'm new. And then if you wanted to leave, not leave, but if you didn't want to chat in the chat anymore, that was okay. So, Jessica, Jessica. A wonderful group. We have a lot of fun here on Saturdays when I'm not traveling, and you'll find the community and the people in the chat are amazing. So great resource for questions, or I'm just kind of getting to know everybody a little bit better, because you'll get to know me very quickly, because I'm pretty much an open book. If it is in my head, it comes out my mouth, which sometimes is not such a good thing. But anyhow, so hello. Yes, thumbs up. Terry gave me a good reminder, and a reminder for you guys as well. If you would give the video a thumbs up as you're watching, that is super helpful to me, and really anyone that you're watching or following along with or interacting with on social media. That is the easiest way that you can support someone, is just giving a thumbs up. All right, you guys, welcome. My name is Layle Konkar, if we haven't met before. I have a business called Layle by Mail. I travel and teach all the things, traveler's notebooks, mini books, scrapbooks. For a long time, I was doing planners and teaching planning. That's how I've met a lot of you, is from my teaching in person. When the pandemic hit, all of that stopped, and we've been here on YouTube ever since. Me and many of you. So it's been, guys, in March, it'll be 3 years. Isn't that crazy? In March, it'll be 3 years. So mark your calendar, because we've got a really big celebration coming in March. But anyhow, when I'm not traveling, we're here on Saturdays on my YouTube channel, and we do what I like to call creative listing. So a couple days before, usually on Thursdays, I publish our listing topics, usually 3 listing topics, and I tell you what we're listing about, and I tell you and show you the products that I'll be using. So if you want to list along with me, you can. Some of you are listing right along with me as we're together on a Saturday. Others of you are doing entirely different things, maybe a different craft project, maybe you are working around the house, maybe you're at work, maybe you're driving, maybe you're traveling in Barcelona and just popping in to say hi like merrily. Whatever it is, on Saturdays, that's what I do. I list, and I love that you guys are here with me and like to just hang out, even if it's just hang out. So as I'm listing, I use lots of different products. In the description box of the video down below, I have a link that says link to the products I'm using. So prior to the next week, that link is always there, and it takes you to a page on my website where you can see all the products I'm using, and if you're interested, you can purchase those from me. Once the week is passed and there's a brand new video, then that, what I'm using changes, but then I put links to the majority of the products that I was using directly, if that makes sense. If not, if there's something you see me use and you're not sure what it is or where to get it, you can always shoot me an email, go to my website, laylebymail.com, click on contact us, and then ask, and I'm happy to help you. All right, friends, so we have a lot to do today. We actually have 4 lists we're going to do today. So if you are looking for a time frame today, I'm going to say it's probably going to be about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. But because we have that 4th list, which was the last list that we did not get to finish when we were together last, so I wanted to make sure that we circled back and started with that. But before we dig into our list, we've got to talk about a few housekeeping things. Number one, we are together. This month, we are together the 7th, which is today, January, the 14th, and the 21st. So 3 weekends in a row. I am gone the last weekend of January. So we will not be together, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going on a girls' scrapbooking retreat. Can't wait. I had to think about that. There's some travel coming up. So we won't be together the last week in January. We won't be together the first week in February, maybe even the second week. The best place to go if you are not sure when we're going to be together, I have published a schedule for the first 3 months, so January through March of 2022, and you'll find that either in the Layle by Mail Facebook group, or you'll find that on my blog, on my website at laylebymail.com, and just look for the little graphic that says our schedule. So I have it published through the end of March. Good news is we've got lots and lots of listing coming up for the next 3 months. So That's the first housekeeping item. The second housekeeping item, a couple people in the chat were referencing one of my brand new project kits, which is the 2023 Year in Review Project Kit. As we get going, I'll talk about this a little bit more because two of the lists that we're doing today kind of will relate to that in some way because we've got to wrap up 2022 from that perspective. Last housekeeping item is, oh yeah, some giveaways. So last week I was feeling super generous. We were together on Wednesday the 28th and we were kind of still celebrating the holidays. I did 4 giveaways last week. So if you are new, the way that you participate in the giveaways, you don't have to be watching live. You just need to leave a comment on the video once it's over. So not in the chat, and the comment on the video, in a comment on the video once it's over. And usually I ask you to tell me something what we're listing about. So last week, one of the lists that we did was things I did well in 2022. And I asked you guys to leave me a comment on the video telling me one of the things that you did well in 2022. I have to tell you guys, I spent about 45 minutes this morning reading over all of those because I wanted to know. It was really important to me that I heard from you guys what you did well. And oh my goodness, if you have an extra, a little bit of time on your hands, I'd encourage you to go back to the video from the 28th of December, 2022, and read some of those comments. It was amazing to hear what you guys did well last year. One of the resounding things that I read over and over and again, and you guys have told me this too, is that sometimes it's really hard to think about what you did well. And so that's not an exercise that we are, I think in society, that's not something that we are usually used to thinking about, right? We're usually used to thinking about what didn't I do well, especially this time of year. As we start looking into a new year and new goals and new resolutions, you kind of look at, oh my gosh, I'm horrible at this, or I'm horrible at that. I need to fix this. I need to do this better. So I always like to start off by looking at the positive and what we did do well last year. You guys, those things ranged the gamut. Some people said they procrastinated really well. Some people said they took care of their family members very well, which is so hard in some cases. One woman, and I don't know if you're here, said her husband had a horrible car accident. He hit a bear and rolled down an embankment many times. And he was in very bad shape and is still healing. It's been months and months and months, but she said that she took care of him very well. And that's where we have to think about things like that, you guys, where it may seem like we're not doing things well. I guarantee you, if you step back, you can find at least one thing. And I bet most of you could probably find like 10 or 20 if you spent some time thinking about it, things that you did well. One person said they read really well. They set a goal to read a lot of books and they read more books than they had planned. Some people said that they crafted very well. They wanted to set aside time for themselves to do things that made them happy. And in some cases it was crafting and they made a point to do that. Health, losing weight, more exercise, but there were lots and lots of things, you guys. So I'm proud of you. I only made it through about 3/4 of the comments and I commented back on everyone. So if I haven't commented on yours yet, just know this morning I had to stop and then come in here, but I will go back and finish the rest of those. So you guys are awesome. Even if you had a hard time thinking of something, maybe if you even read through some of those, it might spark a thought of something that you did really well. Even if it was, you went to work every day. You did that. You went to work every day. You did that well, right? You watched Yellowstone well. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on that. We are in the middle of binge watching that. And the last 2 weeks, binged watched Yellowstone very well. See, you could say maybe you drank wine very well. Whatever it is, you can find something, I promise. Okay, guys. Hi, Lula Girl from Sydney, Australia. Just a girl. Lindsay said it's so hard to talk positive about yourself. That's why we are our biggest critics. Exactly. So you know what? You can sit down and write a list about things that you did well. It doesn't have to be pretty. It could be on a piece of scratch paper. It could be, don't put it on scratch paper though. You need to see that and remember that. Even if you put it in a spiral notebook, you can do it. I know you can. The other thing is, you guys, when we think about the listing and all the listing that we do, I constantly refer to it as a time capsule. Okay, think about if you're listing with me, your traveler's notebook or notebooks or spiral notebooks or whatever you're listing in, what a time capsule. Because if you've been doing this with me for the last 3 years, I now have 3 years worth of lists of things that I've done well. So I can go back to 3 years ago and say, what did I do well that year? I can look back to lists on my about last month. I can look back to lists on my favorite breakfast cereal as a kid, my favorite breakfast cereal now. Don't eat it now. Too many carbs. But anyhow, all about the time capsules and the things that you are leaving as a legacy. Someone left a comment on one of the things that they did well was to be doing this, was to be documenting. And she said that her family and her grandkids, was that Nancy? Is that Nancy Mars maybe? Said her grandkids love, love, love looking at all this that she does. So what a treasure. Look at what she's doing. Look at what we're doing, you guys, for our family, our friends, the people in our lives, even for ourselves. We are documenting our stories, and that is so, so, so important. Not only for those people, but I think it's important for us as well. Anyhow, I'll get off that soapbox because I could stand on that soapbox for a really, really long time, but I won't because we've got listing to do. I was talking about giveaways. There were 4 giveaways, right? 4 giveaways. So let's talk about those. The first one, and the way that you participate in the giveaways, you leave a comment on the video. And then right before we start the next time we're together, so we were together on Wednesday the 28th, this morning I sat down, I randomly pick comments. I do not read through them and find the one that's said the best thing. I just scroll randomly, put my finger on one, and that's the person that wins. So, and the first one is the Winter Traveler's Notebook Kit, and that one goes to Michelle Batty. And I think Michelle already emailed me back this morning, I think. So congratulations, Michelle. Nancy, it was Nancy. Nancy said they go to the cabinet every time they are here and search through them. You guys think about that. Even if you don't have grandkids, if you have friends, neighbors, family, whoever it is, even if you're not showing your list to anybody right now, at one point, someone is going to look at those and look at that treasure that Nancy is building for her family, which is just so cool. There's things that Nancy lists about that probably no one in her family would ever know, like what she wanted to be when she grew up, or all the jobs that she's had. Those are all lists. Oh, you know what? I don't know if we've done the what I want to be when I grow up list. We've done kind of some semblance of that, but I'm going to add that to our list of lists. Whoops. Hold on. Want to be when I grow up. That just goes in my little handy dandy notebook there. Okay, so let's talk about the second prize. So Michelle Batty won that one. The second prize, was a $50 gift certificate to my website to buy whatever you want. You get to pick your prize. And that one went to PSU, oh my gosh, PSU Colleen, maybe? I can't read my own writing. PSU Colleen, something like that. So PSU Colleen or whatever it was, congratulations. And she knows because I replied to her comment telling her she won. So congratulations on that one. Jody said, leaving a written history for our posterity, so important. Yes, yes, yes. And that's what we do. But guess what? This is a fun way, right? We're not just using a plain old pen and a plain old lined piece of paper. We're having fun with it. Okay, next one. Oh, blending case. The foam storage blending case, right? And 2 inks that I had double bought for myself. So that goes to Jen Briggs 9145. Congratulations, Jen. And the last one from last week. I'm trying to be organized so that it's not such a shoot show. You know what I mean? When I'm done in here, because I still got lots to do. I have 5 different project kits to design this month. One of them is done. So I'm 20% of the way done, right? Glass half full, glass 20% full. The last prize was the December documented stamp that was exclusive to my 2022 December documented project kit. I think there's only a handful of those left. So those goes to Anne Lavelle. So congratulations, prize winners. I left you a comment, responded to your comment here on YouTube, letting you know what you need to do to claim that prize. Hang on one second. I need a Kleenex. My nose is running. Hang on. then might as well take a hydration break while we're at it. If anyone would like to take a hydration break with me, more coffee. More coffee, yes. Congrats to everyone. Oh. Nancy, that is the best thing that you could even say. Nancy said, my granddaughter, age 10, is now journaling and doing her style of documenting. That is the coolest thing ever. I have very much a passion, obviously, for what we do, for the memory keeping and the storytelling. But I also have a passion for trying to get the younger generations to do that with us, because if they don't do that, then it's all gone, right? It's all gone. We need to keep that going. So Nancy, I love that she is now doing that with you. We also have a few youngsters that do it with us here, sometimes on Saturdays, Adeline and Ariana. Okay. Deborah, Layle, I always want to ask but forget, what kind of albums do you have lined up on the shelf behind you? Okay. These actually are not albums. These are planners. These are planners. These are Carpe Diem planners from way back in the day. Well, not necessarily way back in the day, but I worked for Simple Stories for 6 years, and we launched Carpe Diem while I was there. So those are all just pretty Carpe Diem planners. And I don't use any of those anymore. I do all my planning in my traveler's notebook, and then also I think I've shown you this a couple times before, you guys. And something that I created for myself because I could not really find what I needed. But I just created my own little template, and I bound it. And then this is how I do a lot of my like day-to-day, all the things I need to do planning. And it's just by week. So anyhow, Jody said she has the pink and orange ones. Stacy says, love when my kids journal. Kathy, listing makes it easy to journal. Absolutely does. We don't have to be Ernest Hemingway, right? All we're doing is making a list. But guess what? We're telling the story just the same. Okay. What mug did Nick pick for you today? Well, Terry, interestingly enough, Nick did not pick a mug for me. I just grabbed whatever was there. I have, I don't know, like 30 of these. This one is just coffee. Because I woke up at 6 and Nick slept in a little bit. And so I made my own coffee today. Okay, friends, let's see. Susan, I'm going to leave for an hour plus, have to pick up groceries for my son who has COVID. Oh, I'm so sorry, Susan. And Susan, if you answered me about the tree, I missed it. I hope. Lisa, question, is your homemade daily planner in your shop to purchase download? Lisa, I need to add it because I've had a number of people request that. So I will, look, let's just do this. I need to add it to my, let me add it to my list of things to do. It's a working session today, right, friends? It's a working session. So add weekly planner. All right. I will just show you what makes it so nice is because then I have, look, that's this week. There's next week. There's next week, so that I can just kind of move things or put things down in a week when I need them. Okay, all right, let's go. We gotta go. We've got too many other fun things to do. Deborah said, finally here for a live, making a better attempt this year. I love it that you're with us live, Deborah. Okay, guys, here we go. We are going to, oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you. I'm so glad, Susan. Thank you. Okay, friends, I'm going to flip the camera and we're going to get going. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have so many good things, that have arrived the last week, oh, I know, we'll be doing a What's New Wednesday on Wednesday night. That'll be probably 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I'll be doing a What's New Wednesday here on my, hang on, had to turn on the studio lights, got to turn off the overhead light. I'll be doing a What's New Wednesday to show you lots of fun new things that I haven't had a chance to put up yet. Oh, bless your heart, Colleen. And in a good way. That's not the bad way, that's in a good way. Colleen is always the one who reminds me to plug my phone in after we get started so that we do not run out of battery, because that's important that we don't run out of battery. Okay, all right, friends. Hi, Juanita. Juanita said, hi, guys. I'm so excited. I'm excited to have you with us, Juanita. Okay, friends. So,
okay. I added on Colleen as always to the next list. Let me know if you'd like to add a time or...
That is funny. Could you guys hear that? My watch was talking to me. Apparently it added something to Nick's to-do list for me. Wow. It's always listening, friends. Yes, Siri, the everything is always listening. So just know. All right. So we did 3 lists. We did 2.5 lists last week, right? We did 2.5 lists. The first list was wrapping up. Hi, Marie. Nice to see you. The first list was wrapping up well, a little bit of December, kind of. So I did a list called December Documented. And even though it kind of doesn't look like a list, look at these are the things on my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We fussy cut those wreaths from a 6x8 piece of paper, and then I used a large photo over on the left-hand side. So someone, I think it was Gabby, I can't remember if Gabby asked when we were live or if Gabby sent an email after the fact and said, Layle, I'm a little bit confused. So how does your December documented, what you do here, vary from an about last month list? And it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. I just highlighted a few things here. But when we do our about last month, the next list that we'll do in a sec, when we do our about last month for December, that's where I will really kind of delve into all the things that happened. So kind of one and the same, but kind of not, Gabby. Not that that really makes sense, but that's what I did. So that was our first list. Second list, things I did well this year, right? We talked about that for a few minutes. Documenting the things that we did well. And that's super important to do, right? Important to focus on what we did well before we beat ourselves up on setting new goals or setting things that we want to focus on for the year. We got to talk about what we did well. So you guys, I actually went back and spent a little bit more time finishing up this list. I didn't feel like it was, finished. Now, all the things in my list were finished, but what it didn't feel like, it just felt kind of plain still. So I went in and did a little bit more stenciling. So we had done a little bit of stenciling with some distress ink and a foam blending tool and a stencil. It's a super faint color, but you can see I put more, I just put a little bit more accents all around and filled in a few of those blank spaces. So if you want to see how I did that, you can go back to the video from December 28th and you can kind of see how I did that towards the end. The other thing that I did, again, still felt kind of plain. So I took out my Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. I didn't watercolor, I just used them as a regular like colored pencil, and I colored in the boxes, those double lines around each of the boxes. So it now it just has a lot more color to it, and it's just a lot more visually interesting. There was nothing wrong with it the way it was before, but I felt like it just needed a little bit more color, kind of pops of color. So that was the second list, things I did well this year. And we used my brand new All the Things stamp set for that list. So we'll be using that All the Things stamp set again in one of our lists today. All right. Hi, Leslie. Tracy. Okay, so it looks like we've got a couple questions. If we're just starting to list, how do you start your book? Just a cute title page and then jump in. Lindsay, absolutely. Cute title page and then jump in. Let me see. Here's an example. This is the insert that I just finished. Here is a cute title page. I used some pattern paper. I stamped using my Right Here, W-R-I-T-E, Right Here stamp set, and add a little quote. And then there you go. Then I just started jumping right into my list. And for me, there is no rhyme or reason. As soon as I end one book, I move right into the next book. Some people do things a little bit differently. We'll talk about that in a sec. But I think easiest thing is to jump right in. Even if you don't know what you want to do as a title page yet, look at nothing there for a title page yet. That didn't stop me from just jumping right in. Teresa, the numbers are from the Simple Stories Life Captured collection. So that is the numbers, the washi, the bird. That's also what you see up here. So if you click that what I'm using link in the description box of the video, it will take you to that collection on my website. Marique, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. Marique Visser, I want to start this year. take out want and say, I'm going to. And maybe just say, I'm going to start now instead of this year. Do it. What do you have to lose? Jump right in, right? Jump right in. Oh, Nancy, I like that idea. Nancy said for the first page, sometimes she sets it up as a table of contents and leaves space for the titles. So if any of you are bullet journalers, you could kind of set that up like that, where you could have your page numbers here, and you could have the title of the list, and maybe even the date that you did that list. And then if you add page numbers to your pages, then you have a nice reference point that kind of is taking on a little bit of a concept of a bullet journal. But that might be something really fun to do. I love that idea, Nancy. I love that idea. Okay. Marie. Okay. Marique. I'm letting that one trip me up. You have to tell me how to pronounce your name. If you can tell me that in the chat, is in the car. All right. So here we go. Nancy said one more thing I'm going to touch on, and then we're going to jump in with our first list. Nancy said, starting a new traveler's notebook for the new year. I am behind in past layouts, but cleaning the slate and starting new. You know what? That's okay too. If you're 3/4 of the way full with something in the past and you want to start 2023, the brand new year, with a brand new insert, you do you. If that's what you want to do, then absolutely you should do that. It doesn't matter if you have some empty pages in the last one. Either glue them together or put some leftover pattern paper on the pages, or come back and add lists later. But don't let that stop you from getting started. This is the easiest type of project to start because you just turn a page and start making your list. Doesn't matter if you kind of know how you want to start it or end something, you just dive right in and go. Insert, Mary Jo, yes, this is an insert. This little notebook that I'm using, this is an insert. It is called a Traveler's Notebook insert. And this is a Traveler's Notebook. Mary Jo, what I'm going to recommend, I have a video here on my YouTube channel. It's called Intro to Traveler's Notebooks. It will give you everything that you need to know about Traveler's Notebooks, and will also give you literally hundreds of ideas on what you can use a Traveler's Notebook for. But that is an insert. I know I forget sometimes that not everybody is familiar with what we're doing here. Tracy, is the 2023 Planner Kit a different project then? Yes. I'll talk about that in a sec. All right, guys, here we go. Wendy is finally going to start this year too. She bought a few Traveler's Notebooks and she's ready to go. You can do it. You can do it, Wendy. Everyone can do it. Okay, friends, so our first list that we had started last week, this beauty. I say it's beauty because I like it. I love the product. It's super simple, right? It's super simple. The list that we are starting with today, carrying over from last week, is things I'd like to forget from 2022, right? We are the next couple of weeks wrapping up 2022, and we are kind of taking a look forward into 2023. So last week, things I did well in 2022. This week, things I want to forget about 2022. So for those of you that had a really hard time focusing on the positive and what you did well, maybe this is space for what you want to forget. And then guess what? Finish this list. It's done. Move on. Forget it. And it's done. Okay? Promise me that. All right. So for this list, I need to do a title. And for that title, I need one of my stamp sets. And it is... hang on. They are not all put back together yet. So let's see if it's still on here. One of the trays, not there. Okay, hang on. Hang on. I'll probably end up using a new one because, oh, Layle, come on. Everything should be put away, but it is not. Normally, all of my stamps are organized. Well, all of my current, prior to this one, are organized. But not that. Oh, here it is. Okay, there we go. Stamp set that I'm using is called All the Things. And it is, literally, covers all the things. So, you have different prompts. my favorite things about, things I'm, things I'd like to, things I. And then you have all these handwritten words, my handwriting, that you can add to those prompts. So last week we did things I did well. This week, things I'd like to forget. My favorite things about fall, spring, summer, last year, this year, month, things I'm looking forward to, things I'd like to do over, try, forget, remember, things I learned, things I'd like to do again, things I appreciate, things I wish. Anyhow, all the things. So you can mix and match the prompts with the handwritten words for your list. So this list, we need things I'd like to forget. So we have things I'd like to, and then we have the word forget. Things I'd like to forget. Let's grab our stamping block. All organized after I cleaned up yesterday. So, a little stamping block, things I'd like to forget. Now, something like this, you could stamp in one impression. So you could set it up like that, things I'd like to forget. But generally with these, I like to stamp them in 2 impressions. The reason why is if I want to nestle them, I can get in a lot tighter if I nestle that way, as opposed to if I try to, not if I nestle that way. Let's see, if I put that like that, I can't quite get it exactly where I want it if I'm doing that in the same impression. So if I stamp twice, then I can have a better chance of getting it exactly where I want it to kind of sit, if that makes sense. Yes, Terry just said, huge supporter of Shop Your Stash. TJ Hayden, I'm using A5 dot journal for my listing. Use what you have. Absolutely. Use what you have, right? Use what you have. There's no reason to purchase. Now, I know that sounds weird because that's my business. I sell product and I do a lot of education and project kits and things like that. But really, you need to use what you have, because once you start using what you have, then you feel better about purchasing, right? All right, so here we go. Things I'd like to. Oopsie. And there is my little tiny block. Now, what I started thinking as I was putting this list together, this list is using product from the Simple Stories, Simple Life collection. So that is what I have here on this tray. And all of those beautiful little flowers and stems along the bottom are from the Floral Bits, okay? So all of that available on my website. I used for the background, that wood grain is from the 6x8 paper pad. So I think I'd like to keep this pretty neutral. I had pulled in some ink. I actually inked the edges of my white cardstock. And I used hickory smoke. So hickory smoke is a beautiful, nice neutral that's a little bit softer than a black, right? A little bit softer than a black. So hickory smoke is right there. So I think I'm going to use hickory smoke for my title. So I see lots of people chatting already about things that they would like to forget. Lovely Plans said, I would like to forget my husband's death. Oh, goodness, hon. I'm so very sorry for your loss. So very sorry for your loss. You guys, I think writing a list like this can be super therapeutic. There may be things that I have on my list that maybe I don't want other people to see. And if that's the case, then I would either finish this later or figure out a way to maybe washing it closed or something like that. If I want to do a little bit more journaling or documenting about something, so Lovely Plans, maybe that's the only thing on your list that you want to forget about. You could have that be the big thing on your list and then do a little bit of journaling about how that has been and how you've struggled with that and how you are doing your best to move forward. Okay, so hickory smoke, I think that is what I'm going to use. So I have swatched all of my inks using my Swatch This Inks stamp set. Makes it really easy when you are looking for a color to pull out your swatches and find that color, as opposed to pulling out all of your ink pads. So I'm going to continue with hickory smoke, and I am grabbing it. I want to show you guys something really fun that I did with hickory smoke. And this is one of the, and I won't show them all. You can see one of the months on my website for the 2023 in year in review, but I'm going to show you October. Don't be confused by the fact that my 2023 already has photos in it. It already has photos in it because I did that. So when I teach the class and when you guys see the instructions, it will help you envision. But look at October. So October, I created a shadow effect. So I stamped OCT twice. The first impression was using hickory smoke. So not only is it a beautiful subtle color to use in a layout like this, but how fun is that? Stamped with hickory smoke and then black on top. So it gives it a really kind of neat shadow impression. And we'll talk a little bit more about that whole kit when we get to our next list. Okay, so things I'd like to forget. I'm going to use hickory smoke. Let's get this out of the way for now. And I need to pull out my scratchbook. I don't know. You know what I mean. This is just a notebook that I keep, that I do all of my test stamping in. You can see, look at this. This is all of my test stamping from that 2023 year in review project kit. Anyhow, stamping, for some of you, stamping is second nature. For others of you, you haven't stamped much, maybe even at all. My biggest recommendation or tip is to always stamp test first, right? Stamp test first. If you stamp test first, you can make sure you like the color. You can make sure things are straight. You can make sure that things are spelled correctly if you are spelling with alphabet stamps. But doing your test stamp first is so important. So I always test stamp first. And then I can kind of play a little bit with placement and make sure that things are good. So, oops, that's crooked, right? Things I'd like to forget. Now, I think if I do that there, it's a little bit off balance, right? I kind of have this space over here, but there's some really small little die cuts that are part of this collection that I think I can use. Like that would be cute, that little bumblebee. Let's see if there's some others. All those little ones I think are bumblebees. Oh, there's some small-ish butterflies, so I could kind of put that in there if I wanted, and maybe even put a bumblebee right about there. So I think I will like the way that looks, as opposed to, maybe I'm like, meh, I don't know if I really like that placement. So I could come over here and stamp again. Much easier to test your placement out before you actually do it on your project, right? So maybe I thought, ooh, well, I'm off the page there, but excuse me. All right, I know I definitely like it nestled, right? Nestled as opposed to this, because if I stamp it right below, I have this trapped white space right in there, and that just sticks out right like a sore thumb. So I'm gonna be happy with that once I get it straight. Not quite straight. Oh, lovely plans. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so recent. Oh, it is so recent. Oh, I will tell you, there are a number of people, yes, Colleen being one of them, in this group that are here on Saturdays with us that have lost spouses or partners this past year. So just know you're not alone. And, even if you felt like reaching out to someone that is here, that has gone through, or is going through, I shouldn't say has gone through, is going through that same thing. It's a wonderful group with very friendly people. Somebody just said, is anyone else's screen fuzzy or just mine? Jessica, generally what happens, because I'm watching too, and it looks clear here, it is YouTube will set the quality settings for you, and it doesn't know what it needs to be right now. So if you click on the little gear, you should see a little gear in the lower right-hand corner of the window. Hit that gear, change the quality setting, and it should clear right up. It should clear right up. All right. So I know I'll be good with that. So let's re-ink. I want to always re-ink, right? Always re-ink because that's had a little bit of time to dry. I also want to use a pencil board. So pencil board. I have pencil boards now, my own custom pencil boards on my website. This pencil board is 5 by 8.25, which is the same size as the inserts that I use. 1/8 inch acrylic, so nice and thick and sturdy, rounded corners so we don't punch through a paper. A couple more things about it. You'll see there's a grid pattern. The grid pattern and my logo are etched on the back side. So you don't run into any of the lumpy bumpies because it's etched on the back side. But the grid is there if you need to use this as a larger stamping block. You could put a large stamp on here and then line up your stamp on that grid. Whole purpose of a pencil board, friends, is to give you a flat surface to either write on or to stamp on. All right, write on or stamp on. So anytime I'm stamping, I will always take the pencil board and put it behind the page that I'm working on. That gives me now a very nice flat surface to stamp on. This insert is pretty much brand new, right? I've only stamped or I've only worked on one page. But what starts to happen, even in this one, I have a few little lumps here that could get in the way of a successful stamping impression when I stamp here because I have some die cuts underneath. I don't want to have any lumps or bumps when I'm stamping or my stamped impression is not going to turn out the way I want it to. So putting a pencil board in there gives you that flat surface. Especially when you're working in your insert and you get like way, way, way down here. When you get way, way, way down here, and if I am stamping right here and I don't have a pencil board underneath, all of these little things underneath are going to start to get in the way, especially as I'm kind of starting to get to the latter part of my insert. It gets a little bit harder to even kind of stamp around that curve. That curve kind of gets in the way. So pencil board is one of the, I think, most helpful tools when you are stamping in an insert. Marique, is this different than year in review? What we're doing right now is, we'll talk about the year in review shortly on our next list. Hi, Carolyn. Nice to see you. Size of the tote. What is the size of the tote you store your stamp blocks in? It is this thing. It's from the dollar store. Okay. It's from the dollar store, and that's what I store it in. How are these pages made, Jessica? Will you provide a little bit more detail around your question when you say, how are these pages made? All right, here we go. I generally prefer to apply my ink to the stamp as opposed to my stamp to the ink. So a couple times you've seen me start that way and go, whoops, and then do this way. I have a lot more control when I am stamping if I am applying the ink to the stamp, especially something like this. It's so small. If I try to do this, chances of getting ink around on my stamp block are pretty high. So that's just something I prefer. There's obviously two ways you can do it, ink to stamp or stamp to ink, but I prefer ink to stamp. All right, things I'd like to. My pencil board is there, and I will put this guy right here. Okay, things I'd like to. Super simple. Hi, Shirley. All right, see, super simple things I'd like to. And it's nice and subtle using that kind of same ink, or excuse me, that same color tone. So things I'd like to, and now let's get, So when I stamped before in my little scratch notebook, it was crooked twice, right? It was crooked twice. It wasn't me. Well, it was. I put the stamp on the stamp block crooked. So I need to fix that before I stamp, or I'm going to stamp crooked. What are my base pages made from? Jessica, this is a Traveler's Notebook insert. And these Traveler's Notebook inserts I have available on my website. So you'll just see, you'll see it if you click on the link that says what I'm using. And then I kind of build on top. Hopefully that answers your question. So let's pop this guy back up and get him on straight. And now that I've moved that, I know it may seem like overkill, but I would much rather figure out something was crooked on my little scratch paper instead of figuring that out on my list. So let's give it a test stamp one more time. There we go. I'm straight now. That's good. Hi, Betty. Nice to catch you live and be a part of the chat. Nice to see you, Betty. All right. You guys, questions. If you're watching live, the chat is the best place to ask a question. And if I don't see it or don't respond to it, well, if I don't respond to it, it may just be that I didn't see it. Or it could be that I'm in the middle of something and I think, oh, I know, I'll come back and answer that. Sometimes I forget. I will tell you that the people in this group are super helpful. So sometimes, that's going to be a little bit crooked. Sometimes they may answer a question. So if you guys are here and you know the answer to the question, feel free to pipe in. If I missed your question, you can always ask again. And when I say ask again, retype it in the chat, put it all uppercase, and then I have a better chance of seeing it. Lisa, what size is your monthly in the news compilation photo? It is 5x7, Lisa. It is 5x7, and actually we'll be doing 2 of those in the news list next week. One in the news for December and one in the news for all of 2022. All right, things I'd like to forget. So if this guy goes here, right, that guy can kind of go right in there, and my little bee can go in here. There we go. So see how it looked kind of off. I just filled in kind of those spaces and gave it a little balance. And then again, it's super neutral. It all fits in well with what I'm using. So let's get out a glue pen because those are little tiny pieces. I don't want to try to get the little tiny backs of those with my tape runner because I'll just end up with way more tape on there and it will be very difficult to only get tape where I want it. So I'll use my little glue pen. I'll take my little reverse grip tweezers and just put that little guy right about there. And then do the same thing with that guy. Good morning, Heidi. Excited I caught you live for the very first time. Oh, I love that. Welcome, welcome to the live for the very first time. Debbie is joining us from Sydney, Australia. 5 a.m. Sunday. Oh my goodness, Debbie. It is early where you are. It is early. It is, let's see. It's 11:03. I live in Utah, which is the mountain time zone in the U.S. So it's next day for you. All right, things I'd like to forget. Now, I need to work in a 2022 somewhere in here, right? I need to work in a 2022. In the very near future, I will have a very nice selection of some colored markers. So we'll be able to do lots of fun things with colored markers. You guys know most of the time when I am working on my list that I always use black ink. And I will use black here because that is what I have, but I would love it if I had kind of a gray. I don't. So let's pull in our black marker and then let's see where we might want to put this. I'm thinking if I come in, let's try pencil. Let's do this with pencil to make sure that we'll like it. I'm thinking if I make a little line right here to separate. So if I'm just looking, if I write 2022 right there, will I like that? Will it be okay? Regular markers, Denise, not paint markers. Regular markers. I think that'll be okay there. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. I always, well, I shouldn't say always use pencil, but a pencil is one of the tools that I use quite often in my listing, well, in all of my projects, because sometimes you're just not sure if you're gonna like something. So much easier to try it in pencil, and then if you don't like it, then you just erase it. Which brings, there it is, which brings up a point. Eraser is also a very good tool to have with you. On my website, I have a page of basic tools that are all the different tools that I use in my listing, in my crafting. So you can kind of get a feel for what those are. You saw the tweezers I already used, and then oh heavens, what is that? The ruler, the 6-inch ruler. There we go. Yes, Gracie Crates, I will zoom in. I always forget to do that, especially when I'm done with the list. So there you go. I need to make sure that you can see that because my screen is about 10-second delay from what you guys are seeing. So hang tight, hang tight. Uh-oh. Hang on. There we go. Things I'd like to forget in 2022. All right, the gray, I know. I tell you what, that hickory smoke, that's like a sleeper. Hickory smoke is a sleeper. Cindy, hi Cindy, vertical 20. Oh, I know. Yes, okay. You were saying I could do vertical somewhere. Missed that. All right, so now I need to make some bullets. And when I mention bullet, for those of you that are new, let me show you an example of bullet list. So many of my lists have a bullet. This is what I call a run-on list. So it is not a vertical list where I'm just writing something on each line. This is a run-on list, and I've used a bullet stamp to separate each of the things on my list. There's another bullet stamp that I've used to separate all the things on my list. Sometimes there are, let's see. Oh, there's a vertical list but that's also a bullet stamp. So anytime I'm making a list, somehow I need to separate or identify the different things that are going to be on my list. And for that, I use my bullet stamps. So let's see. That is one set, bullets and more. Let me grab the other one, which is going to be in the same spot. Oh, heavens, Layle. Hang on. Oh, I'm going to be so wasteful here. I hate that. Oh, no. Here it is. There we go. There's the set I've used before. This is my new Bullets and More stamp set, Bullets and More 2. So, Bullets and More 2, brand new, and then this is the original Bullets set. And these are probably my most used stamp sets. I use these on almost every list I do, because if I am making a list and it has a bullet, then it's going to be from one of these two stamp sets. Oh, gray and pink is a favorite color combo. That would be pretty, wouldn't it? That would be really pretty. Especially like the tattered rose, right? I won't do that on this one, but look at hickory smoke, and because tattered rose is a really subtle, it's a really subtle. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. So those two together would be really pretty, right? Oh, Jessica, nice to meet you, if you're gone. And then even spun sugar would be pretty together. Okay, so let's figure out what we want to use for bullets. Let's look at our new stamp set. This will be a little bit easier to look at. There they all are stamped out. Which one of those might I want to use? Things I'd like to forget. I could use like one of the little speech bubbles, right? That's like a little speech bubble. Or I could use, there's lots of different little flowers. I could use a little flower. Light bulb, but light bulb is usually remember, not forget, right? A little glass of champagne I could drink to forget. No, I think I'm going to use one of those little flowers. So I will use that guy. So let's grab this little flower right here. I think I'll do the open flower. So that fourth one over, because then that kind of resembles the openness of those things there. I need a thumbs down. There is a thumbs down. Look there's a thumbs down right there. In the original Bullets and More, there's a thumbs down. All right, so let's get the outlined one, which would be this guy. Now, when I'm working with the bullet stamps, they're teeny, right? I mean, look how teeny those are. Teeny, teeny, teeny. This tool, you could try to stamp them without this, but I think this tool makes it super easy. This is called a stamping stylus. Linda May, I would like to forget that I didn't win the big lottery. I know, right? We even played it when we were in California too. Nothing. Denise said, how did you get that sample so straight? Did you stamp the entire stamp? Yeah, I stamped the entire stamp. Those, when I get my production samples in, I need to stamp them to make sure everything's okay. And that's the easiest way for me to do it. I can put that in my MISTI and then just stamp everything at once. But there are sometimes things that you discover that need to be fixed when you are manufacturing things, correct? So I don't know if you guys will even be able to see that, but that little open book, there was a weird little blip in the center. And every time I stamped it, weird little blip in the center. So we were able to fix that before we went into production. All right, so I put that little tiny stamp on the stamping stylus. Stamping stylus is about the same circumference around and about the same length as a regular pen or pencil, right? Look at, there's my pencil. So it's something that's very comfortable in my hand. I add that little stamp to the end, and I will show you how easy it is to stamp those little stamps using that little stamping stylus. Here is my ink, and all I do is put that in, stamp. So that makes it so easy to stamp with a little stamp like that. Even if you have a really teeny stamping block, like maybe you have a 1x1 stamping block, still it's hard to kind of maneuver such a small block, and it's hard to get good even pressure. So having that little tiny stamping block in the stylus makes it super easy. All right, so that is what I'm going to use for my bullets. And that little flower again is from the Bullets and More 2. One quick thing that I want to just show really quickly. This is another stamping tip. I have a video coming that's all the stamping tips. Well, a bunch. But I want to show you, I'm going to stamp a couple of different times. Juanita, is there a printable of a list we are going to be working on? Juanita, there is not a printable. I always, though, will do the list topics ahead of time, but there isn't any kind of printable. So I am applying different pressure, and I want to show you what happens when you apply different pressure. And it's really important if you're using small stamps. Actually, it's really important with all of your stamps as you're stamping, that you try to get a nice even pressure and not too hard. Like, let's see if you guys can see that one. See that first one there? I pressed down really hard. Well, that might as well be a big blob, right? Because I pressed down too hard, and as I press too hard, I am spreading out that ink on the surface. So it didn't work so well. With a small intricate stamp like this, generally the lighter I press, the better. You also notice you can kind of see a bunch of different ones there based on the impression. Whenever you are, oh, Wendy, it shouldn't be sold out, Wendy. I have loads of them. So when we're done, I will go back and add more inventory. Sometimes, anyway, yes, but I have loads of them. So they are, they're available. I will just, I need to add them. Every time you want to re-ink, or else you are going to start to get a not full impression, assuming that you want a nice full impression. Okay, there we go. See? Nice, cute little stamp. So things I'd like to forget in 2022. Now, I do all of my lists ahead of time. I have to, and I use my workbook. This is my Listing with Layle workbook that is available both in print and available as a download for purchase. Now, yours that you purchase is a little bit different because it doesn't have like the winners and things like that. You don't need that. But I always use this as I am planning all of my lists. And there's no possible way that I would remember all the things that I'd like to forget if I sat down to do that right now. So here we go. There is my list of things I would like to forget. So let's go here, and we will start with the first thing. The first thing I would like to forget from 2022 is having COVID twice. Okay, I had it twice. I'd like to forget that. All right, next up. Luckily, I didn't get super sick. So next up, having COVID twice. This is another thing I'd like to forget. Russia invading Ukraine. Right? Would really like to forget that. Still ongoing. Next up, I would like to forget. So some of the things pertain to my life on my list. Some of the things apply to things that happen in the US, things that happen in the world. So you're going to have a mix of those things on my list because that's the way I'm going to do it. I always say you do you. So if you want to do your list differently and only have things personal to you, then you should do that. If you want to only have things pertaining to like local country, world news, you can do that. So next thing I would like to forget on my list, in no particular order, is the Uvalde elementary school shooting. Now, obviously, that's something that was a very horrible thing that happened. So when I say I want to forget that, please don't take that the wrong way, and I'm being insensitive. That was just a horrible thing that, that just hope, well, never mind. But don't think I'm being insensitive by having things like that on my list, please. Next up, death of Queen Elizabeth II. Okay. Yes, things I wish never happened. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, here we go. I am going to my list of lists, all of our ideas. Wish that never happened. And then you know what? We can turn that frown upside down by saying, happy that happened, right? Things you're happy that happened. I don't know, like maybe you met your best friend in second grade or something like that. So, wish never happened. I always like to write people's names. If you've suggested a list, I always like to note that in my little handy dandy notebook so that when we get to that list, I can give that person credit. So Tracy, I just wrote you down for that. A monthly in the news segment. Denise, we do a monthly in the news segment, right? We do a monthly in the news list, right? Hi, J-Lo, nice to see you. Yes, things I wish never happened. Yep, that's totally. Things I'd like to forget, things I wish never happened. However you want to title your list, title it. Pamela said hi. Catching the replay tonight. Oh, Pamela, I'm so sorry. Pamela's mother passed away. 95 years. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is a long life. Very sorry for your loss, Pamela. Very sorry. Death of Queen Elizabeth. Another thing I'd like to forget is inflation and interest rates. Right? That is here in the US. That's been a crazy thing, inflation and interest rates. Now, we don't talk politics when we are listing Happy Place. So we never talk about why any of those things happened or why they didn't happen or what someone could have done to prevent it. It's just one of the things on our list. Yes. Nancy, Betty White, right? Betty White, right before she turned 100. Got to get really tight in there. Betty White passing. Okay. Let's see what we have next. We're moving on to the next page. All right, before I start the next page, this is going to be a lot of kind of blank writing, and it's just, I think it needs something. So let's go back to, these are the floral bits again from, these are the floral bits from the Simple Life collection from Simple Stories, linked in the description of the video. We want to put another butterfly? I don't know. Maybe we put a butterfly down there. How about that? If we put maybe a butterfly there, but I still need something up there. So I don't think I want to have something like that floating, because it's kind of odd floating, isn't it, guys? Do you see why it would fill the space, but it's kind of like a stem that's floating in the middle of nowhere. So I won't do that. We won't have that because then I think it looks a little odd. But if you want to do something like that, you do you. You know what I say. That could go there. I don't know, maybe. All right, so now what I think I need to do is I need to go into the other. Let's look at some of the other products in that to see if there's something else that might go up there. These are the regular bits and pieces. So there's, I don't know, everything there is kind of color. And I've kind of strayed away from color here. So I don't think I will look at any of those. The journal bits, yeah, I don't think, unless, maybe, let's look at this little label. Let's look at this little label. Oh, I need to turn the fan on. It's getting warm in here with my sweater on. So maybe something like that. But if I did that, I wouldn't put that there too because everything is now kind of just vertical. So this could maybe go right in there. I don't know, maybe no butterfly. All right, let's look at the sticker book now. Maybe we can find something in the sticker book that would work. Hi, Lainey. Nice to see you. Okay, so I have a question. J-Lo and Lainey and Sandy. I don't know if Sandy's here. Are you guys all together at Lizzie's? Lizzie Lou's January retreat. Just curious. All right, let's see if we can have anything in here. More of the same there. More labels. If I wanted to do something with another label, I could do that. I think I'm going to, this is where the collection, really, it's the black and white that is in those floral bits. And then the rest of the collection has a lot of, well, color in it, right? A little bit of color. Which I think I want to keep everything just pretty much, I want to keep everything really kind of toned down. Ooh, unless we find a word strip sticker. I'm going to leave these here because word strip stickers I generally like to add at the end. So let's kind of do something with that up there. Labels. I have a couple things that are my go-tos. If you are new to my style of what I do, labels and word strip stickers are two things that I fall back on a lot. Labels and word strip stickers, because sometimes you just need, you have a space that you need to fill, and I'm going to do that. So let's take that guy and we'll just have it bleed off the page. I just want a little bit of it. I will cut that excess off. And then that little guy I think can maybe just go right there. So let's cut this guy off. I generally don't like things to stick out the edge of my Traveler's Notebook inserts. When it comes to a mini book or something like that, I'm totally fine. But I don't like things to stick out the edges of these. So I always, I will have things bleed off the edge and then I will cut them. Okay. Oh, here we go. I put them away. All right, so just adding that gave a little bit more, I don't know, visual interest to that big blank space up top. All right, so next up we have, oh, where'd my list go? Next up on my list of things that I would like to forget, winter weather patterns. There were a lot of crazy weather things that happened in 2022. Poor Buffalo, New York got hit twice in the last couple of months with horrible weather, horrible snowstorms. California right now is like crazy rain and lots of flooding going on. So these winter weather patterns I would like to forget. I would like to forget the high gas prices. High gas prices, they've definitely started to come down, but at the beginning of the year, they were extremely high, right? Next up, we have on my list, yes, continued supply chain shortages, right? You wonder if we're ever going to get away from that. Not so sure. Shortages. Okay. We had the infant formula shortage. Now, if there are things that I have not included on my list, just know that does not mean that that I'm being insensitive to them. There were lots of shootings, lots and lots of shootings in 2022 here in the U.S. I wrote one down. In your December document stamp set, is there a stamp that just says Christmas? Well, let me look because it's right here, isn't it? Yes, Christmas. I was hoping, yeah, Christmas, right there. All right. Jackie in Vegas, right? Jackie or Henderson went from 342 to 359 in a day. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. All right. Okay, now remember, we are not getting political at all. I'm just writing something down I'd like to forget. Regardless of which side of the fence that you fall on this particular issue, I'm just saying I'd like to forget the whole thing. The Supreme Court striking down Roe versus Wade. All right, and then the death of two close family friends, Tom Beck and Cat James. All right, so there we go. There is my list of things that I would like to forget in 2022. Some of you may have a really short list. Some of you may have a long, long, long list, and you need to do pages and pages and pages. And you know what? Your list is your list. So if you feel like you need to do lots of writing to get those things out of your head and on paper, then your list can be as long as it needs to be, right? It can be as long as it needs to be. One of the things that I always like to do, I always try to remember to do, that I always encourage you to do, is to date your lists, okay? Date your lists, because it's nice to have things dated. Now, as I am going through, well, I wrote 2022 there. I did not actually date when I did this list. So this list would have been December 28th. So I will just do this. I just put a little 12 in front of my 22. Okay, there we go. 12, 20, 22. But I always encourage you to date your list. So this one now will be January 2023. So I think what I can do is, let's see. I'm going to grab a really little teeny tiny roller date stamp. I like using roller date stamps in, oh, got to roll to 2023 in my lists because they're small. And in small spaces, sometimes you just need something that is small. So that says Jan 07, 2023. Again, we're stamping, so I always recommend you get in the habit of testing. Test. Especially with the roller date stamp, you want to make sure that you have the right date. January 7, 2023. Okay, that looks good. And I think, oh, let me just show you a little trick. So maybe if I'm not sure exactly where I want that to go, I can grab a little piece of scratch paper, white cardstock, and I can stamp that on there like that. And then I can cut that out. And then I can move it around to see where I would like that to go. And really, I guess if I wanted, I could just glue that down. But so I can move that around on my list and say, where do I want that? Originally, I was thinking I might want this to go right here. But I don't like it there now because it's making everything go and get super narrow. I mean, it's already kind of narrow. So I don't think I want it to go there. What if it went over here? No, doesn't look good there. What if it went right there? I think maybe there. Or it could go over here. I think it's going to go right here. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so a couple different size roller date stamps on my website. This is called the small one. Small. Because it's smaller than the big one. Okay, so I said I wanted that to go right there. And it takes a very steady hand. Always makes me think of the Operation game. Butterfingers. Okay, there we go. So my date, or my list is now dated, and I think, I don't know. Maybe I could put. Maybe let's look and see if we have any more little butterflies. Oh, look at this. That's interesting. It's like a stack of butterflies. I don't want the stack. I want that little small one. I have some more little bees. I'm just bringing, I had everything spread. Oopsie, let's put that back. That's about disaster waiting to happen. I had everything kind of spread out on here, which is a great tip. Now, you don't need to use something this big, but I generally have lots of things like that in my space that I can dump bags out of little embellishments like that, and then kind of sort through them without them, you know, gaining legs and walking off. Oh my gosh, I was doing some design yesterday, and there was a little piece that I had cut off that I wanted to use somewhere else, and I could not find it for the life of me, and I was getting so frustrated. And then I went in to eat dinner. Nick and I sat down to dinner, and he's like, "Hey, what is that on you? You've got something on your..." Yeah, and it was on my sleeve. So your things will grow legs and try to walk away. No, not there. Maybe this guy right there. I feel like there's a couple of spaces I want to fill in a little bit. So we just need to do it and move on. Do it and move on. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, we'll fill that little space right there. And then maybe we'll put just one more little bee over here. Oh, I know. I was going to look to see if there were on that one sheet, if there were littles. There's little bees. I wish there were more little butterflies. All right, maybe. Let's see. Now, these are definitely all positive. Worth every second. Live a good story. Yeah, most of these are not going to work. Oh, I know what would work. Probably the snarky ones, but they're probably a little bit more playful in their snarkiness that I want to get into. So let's just do another little, whoopsie, let's do another little bumblebee. How about that? Maybe a bumblebee right in there. No, I just need to move on. It is what it is. I'm going to leave it alone, and we're going to move on to our second list. As I am putting things away onto this tray, so I can just get them out of here and then easily clean up later, theoretically. That's the plan. Let's talk about the next list. So the next two lists will be similar-ish in that they are, they kind of surround my process of monthly memory keeping called About Last Month. So About Last Month is a, hang on, let me just get some of these things put away, friends. I will love you if you let me do that. It will make my life so much better over today. I need to clean these really quickly. You should always clean your stamps before you put them away. I'm just going to take a quick little wipe, but if you even have like a little chamois or something like that, just want to clean them before you get them put away. Oh yes, so the next list is called About Last Month, and it is surrounding the monthly memory keeping process that I came up with and started doing about 3 years ago. And each year I have a different format that I use, but each year it's always the same concept. And that same concept is I add some photos and I make a run-on list of just things that happened. About a year ago, I started separating out the, I need to keep that there for a second because that reminds me of something. About a year ago, I started separating out my list. So my lists for About Last Month are just things that happened in my life, because now we also do a list every month called In the News. So I separate those out. So it's just basically About Last Month is a recap of things that happened in my life or my family's life or friends or whatever I decide to do for the last month. So in this case, that would be for the month of December. Tracy said, when my grandma died several years ago, I inherited all her old metal trays. So many uses. Oh, I love that. Yes. What a fun way to kind of incorporate things from our family members' past into our daily lives. Lindsay, hi, Lindsay. Yes, I will see you, Lindsay, later this month. Okay, the reason I kept this out, friends, this is one of the two giveaways for today. This is the stamp set I was just using. This is the List Builder All the Things stamp set. So if you are new, the way that you participate in the giveaways, you can, you don't have to be live. You can be watching the replay. I will ask you to leave a comment on the video when it's over. So not in the live chat, but leave a comment on the video when it's over and tell me if you are listing with me, even if you're not, tell me what would be on your list for about last month. So just something that happened in your life in December of 2022. So you will leave a comment on the video when it's over, and right before we're together next Saturday, I will draw 2 random comments. That is one of the prizes for next week. That list builder, all the things stamp set. Alrighty, so let's put those things. I might still use stamps later, so let's get these guys put away. Did I? Oh yeah. Always remember to, especially with these little guys, because I forget all of the time. In fact, I saw one earlier. Always clean these guys off and put them away. Look at this little stray guy. That little stray guy is the heart that I used last month. And these little guys, if you don't get them put away, you will lose them. You will lose them, which don't want to lose them because they're so little and teeny and good. All right, so let's put this guy. This guy goes back on this sheet. And this guy goes back on, it's another one of those sheets. Okay, I'm just gonna put that right there. I will find that later. All right, these guys are getting put away now. And we're ready for our next list, although I'll keep using those. Next list, about last month. This is about last month for the month of December. This will be another 2-page spread. Let me pull out my most recent completed Traveler's Notebook so I can show you what this list looks like. And this is an example of the list for the month of September. And every one of these lists that I did in 2022, January through December, this is a list that I do every month, looks like this. And when I say it looks like this, I mean it looks like this in that I used the same stamp set every month. My 2022 About Last Month stamp set. I did my run-on list over here. And then over on the right-hand side, I used a 5x7 photo. That's what that is, a 5x7 photo. I'll talk about that in a second. Where I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I left those 3 spaces empty and then I decorate. So it makes it super easy to do this type of documenting every month. The format's already there. I do not have to reinvent the wheel every time. Takes all the pressure off. And this way I'm getting photos and the words, and then I'm done. If that's the only thing I document about the month, at least I've got something documented. Martine said, I clean my stamps with disinfect wipes. Do you need to rinse them with water after you clean them, or do you let them air dry and put them away? Martine, so there's kind of 2 rules of thought on that. If you are using disinfectant wipes, they say you should not use any kind of wipe that has alcohol in it. Because theoretically over time that alcohol can eat away at the stamps. Now I've not been stamping long enough or been using the same stamps for enough years to actually have had that happen, but that's what they say. So that's something to bear in mind. I know a lot of people will just take a like a damp cloth with a little bit of water on it, just damp, and clean that off, and then set them off to dry. Now, depending on how much liquid you're using on there, they should dry pretty quickly. If you use baby wipes, again, they say make sure that they don't have alcohol in them. That's what they say. So I haven't experienced that, but that is what people recommend. Okay, so for this list for December, I already printed out ahead of time my 5x7 photo. Okay, there is my 5x7 photo. That is 5x7. I use the Epson PictureMate PM400 printer. And with that printer, there is an app, a free app that you can use, available on, the Apple Store. And then, I don't know, Google, whatever, the Android App Store, whatever that is. I use an Apple. So it's a free app. And in that app, there are pre-configured templates like this. This was a pre-configured template. And basically this pre-configured template looked, I got to think about that for a second, like this. Okay. And there are a whole bunch of templates that look like that. Different number of squares, rectangles, different things. And you just pick a pre-configured template And then it accesses the camera roll on your phone, and then you decide which photos you want to put in which of the spaces. In this case, I just didn't put anything right there and then just print that out right through that printer. I will later this month have a video where I walk you through all the ins and outs and all the little trips and techniques and my kind of workflow when I am using that printer to make some things really, really easy. But in short, that is what I used. And I didn't have to have any kind of special Photoshop skills to get those little squares. It was just a template that I picked like that. Now, one thing that I need to do, I need to get out my trimmer because it's a little too wide. And the reason it's a little bit too wide, this insert is standard wide insert. Standard wide is 5 by 8.25. And I said this was a 5 by 7. And you'd say, Layle, but then why do you need to trim this if this is 5 and this is 5? Well, yes, technically this is 5. However, you lose a couple millimeters right there in the center from the binding, or in this case, the stapling. So I always have to trim just a little bit from the left and right edge, because if I were to put that down, you can see it's over the edge just a little bit. So I just trim it a little bit. Yes, Louisa said, I'll need to put that on my wish list this year. Yeah, that's that, you guys, I have been scrapbooking, memory keeping for many, many years. 26 years. I know that because, 26, 22. Yeah, 26. I know that because I started when I was pregnant with our son, Jack, and he just turned 25. So I have been memory keeping, scrapbooking for years. I've used lots of different printers, lots and lots and lots. And this by far is my hands down. It's the workhorse. It's the one I use for everything when I'm printing 4 by 6 or smaller, or 5 by 7 or smaller photos. All right, so there we go. That generally goes right there. In the year in review, in the 2023 year in review Traveler's Notebook Project Kit and class, in that, we basically get our Traveler's Notebook set up for the entire month, or excuse me, the entire year of 2023. So you have all the product and your insert, and my example showing you, I already showed you guys one, I showed you October. So I will show you October again, so you can kind of get a feel now for the whole concept. That is October, okay? So in class, we talk about the whole concept of the project with the kit. We talk about the whole concept. I go through all the stamping techniques. We go through things like that with shadowing, things to watch out for. And then I've showed you example of what I would be doing on the second page. So you can see, even though 2023 hasn't happened yet, those are my October photos from 2022, just so I could give an example. So, showing you October, and then I'll also show you March. March is the one that you'll see on my website. So that is March. Now, when I talk about this and I talk about this, what I do, this is a project kit where we together put everything together to set you up for the year. This is not how I do mine. I don't personally use one insert. I showed you some more. I don't personally use one insert and do my month after month after month. That's not how the way I do it. But most people that purchase this kit and do the class with me, that is how they do it. I do mine just mixed into my everyday Traveler's Notebook, like you saw me here. So we've got September, and then my lists are just happening. My lists are happening. My lists are happening. My lists are happening. And then we get to October, and my lists are happening. Lists are happening. Lists are happening. So that just gives you a little bit more about this concept of about last month, and then the concept of doing that kit and that class with me to get you ready for 2023. All right, so there is my photo. Oh, I just remembered. I needed to have 4 collections out today. Oh my heavens. Do you suppose? I know where it is. It's still downstairs with all of my December daily stuff. All right, my back is to you. I'm just looking, but I know it's not there. Because I need to run downstairs really quickly. The product that I wanted to use is downstairs. where I'm working on finishing my December daily project kit. So bear with me one sec while I go grab Christmas to do this spread. If you need a potty break, if you need to grab a snack, if you need a hydration break, whatever it is, I will be right back. Sorry about that. I'm coming. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I hate that. So sorry. Too many things to get prepped ahead of time. All right, so I grabbed a bunch of stuff and a little bit out of breath. So I grabbed washi, some things I could not find on my messy table, so I just grabbed brand new. Anyhow, washi, puffy stickers, 6x12 stickers, which I have dug already into two things. Some smaller stickers from the sticker book and some of the journaling die cuts. Okay, now I have to have a quick sip of water. Whew. Okay, bear with me. So it looks like you guys, while I was gone, we're talking about photo paper. On my website, for things like that I don't sell photo paper, I don't sell the printer. I have a link. I think it's called favorites or favorite things or something like that. And it will show you links of paper I use. There's a link to Amazon that shows you the two different kinds of paper I use. There's also a link to the printer on Amazon. I will post in the Facebook group when we're done. I will post the links to the 5x7 paper I use, the 4x6 paper I use, and that printer. So lots of you are giving really good input on what you're using, but I will also add what I use as well if you are interested. Tracy said she uses an 8.5 by 11. So that probably she cuts down, right? She cuts down. I think my 8.5 by 11 paper that I buy is just a Costco. It's a really big pack from Costco. All right, so before I start looking at decorations, I need to be looking at decorations and ink at the same time because I use the 2022, my 2022 year in review stamp set. So that is a stamp set that I have used all year long. It is sold out. And I will not be bringing it back because I won't be using that format into 2023. There's a brand new stamp set. I found, I think, 2 more sets. I won't put them back up on the website, but if you didn't get a chance to get that and you would still like to get that stamp set, just shoot me an email. All right, colors. Oh yes, here we go. So I need a couple of colors. I'm going to look back at, oh, Denise, I just remembered. You asked how the idea book is coming along. Crossing fingers, on track for a March, latter half of March release. All right, so I know I don't want to do, I know I don't want to do black. I will do red and green because of course it's Christmas. Now I don't have a lot of red and green there in that photo. But as I look at some of the colors in this collection, I probably don't want to do a traditional, well, probably not a traditional green. I don't know, we'll see. Just because they're kind of a little bit more minty. Oh, let's look at these. How about that? I'm looking at the same one. There we go. Lots of kind of minty and pastel. So let's grab our swatch book again. This is when your swatch book comes in super handy. So if I go to the greens, let's say, no. All right, we can tell. I am on the light ends of the greens. Shabby should, no. Yep, we need to be mowed lawn. No, it's not right. Too bright. Cracked pistachio. No. Lucky clover. No. I think I have some of these that are a little bit out of order. Evergreen bough. Definitely more blue, teal to that one. Rustic wilderness. Maybe. Pine needles. No. All right. So if I'm trying to match a green, it's probably going to be, I think, pine needles. Wait, where did it go? Where's pine needles? Oh, no. Rustic wilderness, maybe. We're going to go with rustic wilderness. All right, now let's find a red. I am going to say maybe barn door. Let's look. Let's get to the reds. Lots of good reds. All right, candied apple. Keep this guy here. Candied apple's really pretty. Ooh, crackling campfire. Not festive berries. I think crackling campfire. Ooh, yep. I like crackling campfire better than barn door. Lumberjack plaid has a little bit too much blue in it. And fired brick, too dark. There we go. Rustic wilderness and crackling campfire. It is going to be. So let's come over here. And let me get those two in colors. Crackling campfire. And rustic wilderness, right? That's what I said? There we go. All right. I know Carmen said maybe Tim will finally get a mint. Oh, yes, I know. I've been hoping for a mint every time, and it's not happening. Hasn't happened yet. Dandy, is this for About Last Month? Dandy, it is. Yes, that's what we're working on right now. We are doing About Last Month for the month of December. All righty. So as I do this, let's look. I think we're just going to have to play because sometimes I use one of that like kind of watercolor swatch stamps on top of the month, but I don't know that I will do that this time because I think that could get a little muddy looking. I might just do the graph, the grid part in one color and then do the everything else in another color. So that's when we want to get out our little handy dandy notebook, our little tester again, because that's going to let me play and decide what it is I want to do. All right, I need that stamp set. Yeah, the lumberjack plaid is really good. It definitely has a little bit of a blue tone to it. Definitely has a little bit of a blue tone. And you know what? If you've ever thought red is a red is a red, oh my goodness, once you see like all the different reds that I prefer to use distress inks, that's just my thing. The oxides, once you see all the reds, you're like, oh my goodness, yes, there definitely is a difference in the reds. All right, there we go. And I need stamping blocks again. So let's see where those went. Hang on. Hang on, hang on. I had them out. I need the big one though. Oh, here we go. They're put away. Oopsie. We will need that. That is the pencil board. We for sure need that. All right, so when I'm working with this particular stamp set, I use my larger of the 4 nesting blocks. So these stamping blocks on my website, but I use the larger of the 4 because that grid, you need a block, if you're using that is at least 4 inches wide to account for that grid. So when I get ready to place the stamps, I have 5 stamps I need to place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the grid. So with this stamping block, because it's so wide, I need to think about the placement of where I'm putting the stamps, whether it's on the a little bit more right justified or left justified. And it's important I think about that because when I'm stamping, I want to be stamping this way. I don't want to be stamping with part here and part on this page, just because right now it's fairly flat. But if I was trying to do that, oh, I don't know, let's say here, and I have part here and part over here, I am not going to get a good stamped impression because there's so much variation in the height of this side because there's so many pages and the height of this side. So I always try to be in the habit of, with this particular block and this particular layout, having everything be right justified. Now, I have to think mirror-wise, and this is where my brain gets very confused. I am very much spatially challenged. So when I want to do it here, I will turn it over. It needs to be here so that when I turn it, it's there. Okay, here. Turn these over. See, over. Wait, I got to think about this. Seriously, you guys. Spatially challenged. So it would go here. Right, okay. Let's get this guy kind of lined up. Okay, there we go. All right, and then my 12 goes in that little spot of the grid, in that little quadrant. And then December goes right. Don't ask me why I just flipped that. Well, actually, I will tell you why I flipped that. Because I am right-handed. And it's much easier for me to flip that instead of try to do it with my left hand. All right? I shouldn't say don't ask me why I did that. I always try to explain why I do things because sometimes it's helpful to understand why somebody does something, right? Linda May said, Layle, I'm so happy you came up with an ink foam organizer. I just got mine all organized and loved it. Oh, I love it that you love it. I love that, Linda May. Yeah, that's a pretty handy little tool for sure. I always say necessity is the mother of invention. Most of the products that I release that are, my Layle by Mail branded products are out of necessity, right? Like this little guy. Hello, makes it so much easier to stamp your little stamps. All of my stamp sets are based on me saying, hey, you know what? It'd be really nice if I had a stamp set for all the things, or a stamp set with lots of different bullets on it or whatever. So that's how I come up with my ideas for new products, is things that I think, oh gosh, I'd like to have that within reason, because there's not, I can't do everything. I will tell you the second and third designs for my new Traveler's Notebook covers that are coming out are now finalized. And I'm just waiting for the samples from China so I can make sure that everything looks good. Then we'll go into production. So we're going to run into Chinese New Year. So it will probably be, I don't know, hopefully like April, May, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Very excited about that, though. Again, necessity is the mother of invention. They're harder and harder for me to source Traveler's Notebook covers, so I make my own. All right, so here we go. Now I just have to think about this again. Do I want it to be green with red or red with green? Oh, and guess what? I can't stamp that way because I need to pull this guy out. If that is going to be a separate color than that, then I need to stamp those separately, right? All right, I think let's try green. Let's try green first. Where's my green? Here we go. Ink that puppy up. I haven't today talked about priming your stamps because all the stamps that I've used so far, I've used before. But when we get to the point of using a new stamp set, and this is something that I cover in depth in that year in review class, the importance of priming your steps, or excuse me, not your steps, your stamps. Priming your stamps. You can tell I'm behind in my steps today. It's really hard on a Saturday for me to get all my steps in when I stand here for 4 hours. I'm not complaining. Anyhow, priming your stamps before you use them for the first time, and I won't go into that right now, but don't need to prime these because I've used them all before. All right, so let's see. That would be the grid. Okay. And then let's pull this guy out. If I were to do this again, I would stamp this guy first, and then I would do everything else around it. If I were to do that again, that'd just make it a lot easier. Instead of doing what I did, I wasn't thinking when I got that ready. All right, let's get our red. Crackling campfire. All right, let's see if we're gonna like it. I think I like that. I think I'm going to go with more green focus instead of red, just because red I think is going to be really, really, really bold. And as I look at the stickers I think I want to use, there's a lot of red in them, so I think that will be a good balance. Alrighty, so let's do this. Got to think about this. I'm going to stamp this first. I am going to stamp my green first. So let's get everything ready here. Here's my insert, and I want to use my, my pencil board. Oh, here we go. Pencil board, by the way, they don't come navy. They come just white, because when something gets etched, when acrylic gets etched, it's white. And then I just paint the back of them. Paint it with acrylic paint and then wipe it off. So that's why mine is navy. Alrighty. This needs to go under here. All right. We're good. And let's ink this guy up. Now I'm going to pay attention to, I had not inked very well the top part of the M and the B there. So I am going to make sure I get those nice and inked up. Okay. And we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4. That's usually about where I like to go. That's where my grid usually is. Okay, here we are. Carmen said, yeah, I got a few in running downstairs. I did, I know, right? I got a few steps in running downstairs. While I'm doing that, I've kind of mentioned to some of you that Nick and I both, Nick's my husband, have been participating since August, different challenges. All right, so we have a problem, right? We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I did not apply enough pressure right there on the part of the A and part of the B, right? See that? On part of the A and part of the B. So there's a couple different things I can do. I could try to stamp again, but there's no way I'm going to get that in the same place. That is where some of you may be familiar with something called a MISTI or a stamping platform. A stamping platform, harder to use in a traveler's notebook, right? Because it's harder to get that page in. But if this page was freestanding and I was using a MISTI, then I would just ink it back up and stamp again, and I would have my stamp in the exact same placement. That would not be a problem. But I can't do that here because I didn't use a MISTI. I could try to re-ink this and get that A and the B right in the same place again, but I'm not confident in my ability to do that, so I won't do that. I could leave it that way. I mean, it's not horrible, right? I could leave it that way. I could stamp again on a piece of white cardstock and just put that over that, right? Or one thing I could try to do, let's just see. I have a couple things I might be able to work through here. Oh, what is that doing now? I don't know, there's a green pen. I've pulled out my Tim Holtz Distress Oxides, and I have lots of colored pencils. So I have swatched all of my colored pencils using my Swatch This pens, pencils, and markers, or something like that stamp set. So I can look at all of my different greens and see if I have a green that might work. Like maybe that juniper green might work. That's part of my Castle Arts. So let's look there. Now, the distresses, now look at that. There is a rustic wilderness. So I could try with that. All right, so, or I could try with my marker. So let's look first at the marker. Let's just pretend. Oh yeah, no, that doesn't really work. See how much lighter that is? Although in a pinch, I could probably make it work, right? It's too light though. I think it'd stand out like a sore thumb. So we don't want to use a green marker. I have not swatched any of my markers yet, so I need to do that. Let's look at the rustic wilderness. Now, different medium, right? One is ink and one is pencil. Now the question is can I get in there enough to try to fix it without making it blurry? Should we try it? Let's try it. Let's try it. I still have my pencil board underneath because not only does it give me a flat surface for stamping on, but it also gives me a flat surface for writing on. All right, I am going to first, let's try to, I'm just very gently with a pencil trying to fill that in just so I have a frame of reference, right? Otherwise, if I just go in there freehand with the pencil, I don't really have a frame of reference. All right, so to see what I just did, I just used my little pencil to kind of complete that B and complete that A. Now, friends, I have no idea what's going to happen here. So let's all take a deep breath and see what happens. You know what? Let me just look at one thing. If I can sharpen, I haven't tried to sharpen these before. My friend Vicky told me to buy the sharpener, so I did. Oh, does it fit? Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. So that's the ticket. That is the ticket. I'm sharpening that because it was a little bit too, it wasn't quite sharp enough, right? The pencil wasn't quite sharp enough. I'd used it before. So now I have a little bit of a sharper point on that pencil. This goes back to, it takes a very steady hand, like that Butterfingers thing again I was saying before on the, like the Operation game. Like when we were a little kid, remember that Operation game? Oh, wow. So sometimes it's good for me to make mistakes while we're working because then I have to figure out how to work through it and then we can work through it together. So you guys give me another minute while I do this and then I will show you the result. But it's working pretty darn well. It is working pretty darn well. And even if I didn't have this exact rustic wilderness pencil, it would be, I could probably find another green that I had that would work just as well. While I'm at it, I'm just going to come up here and color in some of those letters that are a little bit fainter. All right, can you guys see that? Look at that. Do you guys see that? Awesome, huh? You can't even tell. You can't even tell what happened. So there's not a lot of things you can't fix. Even if the fix is stamping again and putting it over the top of there, or stamping on a whole other page and putting it over the top of there, right? There's nothing to be sad about. We can fix it. We can do it. Rock star. I don't know if I'd say rock star, but I did it. I fixed it, so that's good. All right, and you know what? I could have just left it that way. Honestly, I could have just left it that way. Anne said, Layle, can you make an acrylic card to cut washi tape that has scatter on it? Maybe. But Anne, in the meantime, this is what I use. I'll show you what I use. I use my ruler. So let's take this. Here is, so this is just, that's a little steel ruler that I have on my website. And all I do is, there we go. Okay, and I have that nice straight edge. So that's generally what I use is the ruler. I'd have to play around a little bit, and with the thickness, Generally, at least the manufacturer that I use on my acrylic rulers and the pencil boards, generally they don't like to go thinner than an 1/8 of an inch, just because it makes them kind of brittle. So let's look and see what this would do. Oh, yeah, pretty much works the same. So I'll think about it. I will think about it. Oh, I love that, Denise. In the listing world, you are. In the listing world, I am a rock star. Teresa said, I keep wanting those pencils, but trying to use what I have. You know what? Use what you have. I have tons of different colored pencils. And I invested in those because that's definitely more of an investment, right? But like, look at these. This box of 48 colored pencils came from the Five Below store. So there's 48 colors there. So use what you have. And if not, you don't have something like that, and maybe you're not sure if you want to use a colored pencil, then go find something inexpensive. And then, use it, make sure it's something that you'll use, and then maybe invest in something that's a little bit more. All right, so there we go. Now we need to do our red part of the grid. So let's turn that over. And hang on. Mary Jo, could measurements of the Misty that you had in Chini? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I'm like, Chini. Oh yeah, in Washington. Outside of Spokane. I'm like, well, Chini. Mary Jo, you know what? If you will shoot me an email, would you? And then I will, and then I can tell you. I have two. One is like a 4x6 size-ish, and one is like a 6x8 size-ish. But yeah, shoot me an email, and then I will, I'll show you what I have. Oh, look at Scrapbook Sista said she purchased her spiral listing notebook from Five Below. All righty. Five Below, if you do not know, Five Below, I don't know if they're regional or everywhere, or US or Canada or all over the world, but Five Below is like a dollar store, but it's $5 and below. All right, still looking good. I still like that. But again, notice I did a test one. It's been a while since I did that, so always better to test than to, realize that had shifted or something had happened. Even something as simple as a little bit of lint getting on your stamp surface, oh my gosh, that can like really mess things up. Right? Because generally when you get lint on or little hair, that produces a gap in your stamped image. So always a good idea to test first. It's like measure twice, cut once. Now what I'm going to do for this, you guys, I am going to pull this a little bit closer to me. Okay, so I might go out of the frame a little bit, but for this one.
I can't locate that. Please check your product name in the Sonos app.
Now that's the Sonos app listening to me and thinking I'm talking to it. I tell you, everything's listening all the time. I just can't let that bug me because it is what it is. Well, because I like the benefits of the things. Oh yeah, that's a good one. An old gift card, an old a hotel key, right? Not the real hotel keys, but the like the little plastic card ones. Oh my heaven! Oh, okay. Now you know what happened there. I'm glad I'm making all the mistakes because that's how we learn. You know what happened there? I didn't have my pencil board there. And so if you were to look at this, it's all what's happening in here. This made that empty space, which is right there. Having those two taller things there produced a dip right there. And that's what happened. So guess what we're doing? We're back to now hoping again, Crackling Campfire is in here. See, the tools are there for a reason. I just sometimes get going too fast and forget to use them. Crackling Campfire. Aha, guess what? No Crackling Campfire. So, oh no, there is. Right there. So there are far more ink colors than there are the pencils at this point. I'm sure, I know the pencils have done really well because they're sold out quite often when I go to reorder them. I'm sure there'll be more sets of the colored pencils coming out. All right, there we go. And let's try to fix this. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before though. I'm going to have my pencil just kind of give me a guide so I know where I need to write.
I'm sorry.
Look at this. Can you guys see this? Look at my watch. It has been recording like everything I said. Wow. Something I'm doing today. Let me just show you really quick. So do you see the pencil mark there? That kind of grayish, that's my pencil mark. So I now have a line and I know where to write. Color. And that made it a little bit darker. So I wonder if, now I wonder what will happen. Eek. I wonder what will happen if I try to erase over that. Let's test it first, because a little bit of my pencil is showing through. So worked on the green, maybe didn't work so well on the red. Okay, now let's try to erase. Oh, I don't want to use my regular eraser. I'm going to use this old gunky eraser. So look, I learned something. I need to be careful about using the red because I need to be careful about using my pencil to line first because now it's dark. So I will just figure out something to go over that. Oh, that's the other thing. If worse comes to worse, find something that you can, well, I couldn't really cover up the about, but I might be able to cover up something there. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going because now we've had enough of mistake making, but mistake making is how we learn, right? That's how we test out new things to see if they work, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. All right, so good for now. Let me now do my little outline, and then I'll start picking product that I want to use with this. If you're new to me, I pretty much outline everything that I do. Most often it's a single outline like this, but sometimes it's a double outline. So single outline, double outline with a single outline around the page. Alrighty, so now let's see. Let's look at what we want to go in here. I'm just going to pull a few things and we'll see what we look at. This is mittens and mistletoe that I am using. Let's look at the back here. Maybe we have something for a nice little background. Maybe that little pink piece. Layle lining, there we go, Layle lining. Dandy, is that going to transfer to my, is the ink or the pencil? Or both? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I'm doing that. Nothing is moving. So I know the ink won't because I use the ink every time. But I don't think the pencil is either, as I'm kind of, rubbing across that pretty hard. I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see what happens, I guess. All right, let me look here. Let's look at these little guys. Now that I have these on my finger, and I can't really do anything because they're on my finger. Let's get these puppies spread out to see what we might want to use. Oh, that's kind of a nice one. That little tree is nice, isn't it? Yeah, I should have waited for the stickers. We'll just put them up here for now. All right, now let's go to the rest of these. The pencil. Dandy, I don't think so, but you know what? It'll be interesting to see. It might. It might. I did, so on that first list, I used colored pencil to outline all the boxes, and that did not transfer to the opposite page. So that would give me the hopes that that would not happen. We'll see. We'll take a look. Remind me to take a look when we're together next week, and let's see what happened. Okay, these are the ones that kind of called out to me. So let's see. Oh, we know right away that doesn't fit. Doesn't work unless I decided to make it skinnier. We're just going to start playing with a few things. Maybe this guy goes over here. Look at, wouldn't that be cute with little Santa in it? That Santa in that little circle. Even if, maybe we'll have part of that circle bleed off the edge and then Santa's in the circle. It's like the circle of trust. Circle of trust. You guys know what movie that's from? The Circle of Trust. All right. I like that there-ish. And that will be nice there. And then I can just kind of do a little bit of layering in here. So I need something else that can go down here along the bottom. Yes, meet the parents. Louisa, thank you for hanging out with us today. You need to leave to have a late breakfast with the family. Enjoy your breakfast with your family. All right, let's just see what else. Yeah, I can tend to pontificate for quite a while. So, well, yeah, part pontificating, part working, but okay, maybe. It's a little bit harder when there's stickers instead of die cuts because I can't really just place something, right? I can't really just place something. Unless we just say, forget it, and we're just going to start going. Let's just do that. We're just going to start going here. We're just going to start putting some things down. This one can go right in here. I cut the bottom of this off. Hi, Annie Brown, joining late as Sunday morning here in New Zealand. I'll watch what I missed later. Hello to you all. Hello, Annie Brown. Happy New Year. So I just want to get a little bit of that tree trunk off of there so it's not so like trunky. Not so trunky. We'll put that maybe right there. Sure. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Nope. This is not getting used. So let's put that one back. Where did it come from? Didn't it come from there? No. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see what else we might use in here. Oh, yes. Denise said something about the little pink hat. That is similar to my little pink hat. My little pink hat that I bought in Leavenworth, Washington, when I was there visiting with my friend Michelle. All right, so let's look in there. There's something we could do to kind of cover that up a bit. Oh, look at that. There we go. No one will ever be the wiser that that had to go there. All right, no one will ever be the wiser. I just need like a little berry or something to put on there. So I have little enamel dots, but I won't use little enamel dots because they will generally be too puffy. But what if we get to, let me see, are there any? I'm pulling out. Oh, that's a good idea. Mary, I love that. Mary said, put on wax paper so you can move around. That is great. Oh, and Denise said something similar. Use the back side of the foam squares sheet. So when you're done with your little sheet with foam squares, that's kind of like wax paper, right? You could use that and put it on there and then kind of move around until you decide where you want it to go. That is a great tip, you guys. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so what I'm looking for now, I'm going through all of my alphabet soup. Oh, my heavens, Layle, come on. All right, don't hate me. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to be right back, so hang on. Downstairs again for December Daily. Hold on. Okay. Secretly, I'm just trying to get my steps in. No, not really. But I did get a few in running up and down the stairs. All right, this is what I wanted to get. Yes, alphabet soup. Alphabet Soup. These are the puffy stickers from Doodlebug, and I have them in all the colors on my website. But what I wanted, I said I was looking for little berries. So I need little berries that are small, whew, and not two-dimensional. So here we go. I'm going to use the little parts of the punctuation, okay? All those little guys. And I will use my little tweezers, just because that guy is just kind of floating out there. Now, I don't know where you'd normally put the little berries, if those were the holly berries, but we'll just pretend. Okay? Oh, see, now it looks like I meant to mess that up. There we go. A strategically placed holly. And the red little punctuations worked really well. Hi, Scrappy Mist. Oh, good, you received your prize. I'm so glad. I always say, you guys, sometimes life gets away from me, and I forget to send the prizes, and I have them marked for follow-up in my email, and then just life gets away. So if you've ever won a prize and you haven't received it, please don't be shy and say, Layle, do you think you could send me my prize? You guys are always so nice. I'm sure you're really busy. You're always so nice. All right, so now let's see what else we want to use. I feel like we need a little snowflake. I'm going to say right up in here, because there's that kind of white space that's part of my photo. We'll just fill that guy in like that. And now I think we're going to need another present, because we kind of have that trapped white space right there, which I don't think there's much I'm going to be able to do about that. Unless we put, I don't know, let's try this and see. Oh, or we could, I'm going to put that bow there. Even though there's already a bow on the present, I'm going to put that bow there, the black one, because that will help to bring in, as I do all my journaling over here in black, that will help to bring in kind of the black into both sides. Now I was thinking, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I'll come back to that space in a minute. We'll deal with that in a minute. This guy wants to go over here. Let's take a look at the washi, because I would like to put some washi along the bottom. This is washi from Mittens and Mistletoe. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you ordered Mittens and Mistletoe from me when it first came out, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I realized that I had never put the washi up on my website. I had it in stock. One day I'm pulling orders and I'm like, golly, there's so sure a lot of that washi. And then I looked at my website and went, oh, that's why, because I never put it up on the website. So if you missed out on the washi, it is there. Although it's close to being gone. All right, so no, I won't use that, too much of that. And it's really wide. I could do a trick with that, but I'm not going to. There's a red, that would be nice. That could be nice, those two together, right? Actually, I'll show you the trick, because this for me is a little bit wider than I want. That is wider than a standard roll of washi, and that is narrower. I like the narrower, but I would really like it if that was the same width of a standard roll of washi. Oh, I don't know, say like that one. See how it's a little bit wider? Well, I can make this the width that I need, and it's super easy. I will grab my trimmer. Fill in the trap white part of the circle you're going to cut off. Oh, we could try that, Deborah, right? We could totally try that. Deborah's saying I could cut off here and then put that there. That could be really fun. Remind me. All right, so what I'm going to do here is, I liked this washi rate, but I said it was too thick, too wide. So I am going to take it. Not sure how much I'll need. Let's just pretend like it is that much. And I'm going to line it up on my ruler, or excuse me, not my ruler. I will line it up on my trimmer, and I'm using one of those vertical lines, the measurements, so I know exactly where to line it up. That's where my blade goes. And I am just going to cut, okay? Now what I'm left with is two widths of washi. There is my thinner width if I needed that. And here is now my standard-ish, right? Now that's my standard-ish width. So it's really easy to alter your washi that way if you need to. You can't make it longer. Well, you could figure out how to make it longer if you wanted, but if you kind of pieced it together, I don't want that to be quite an even tear. If you pieced it together, no one would probably know, but much easier to make it shorter. I think there is a direction to that because there is a direction. I almost put that upside down. All of my little pine cones were almost going to be upside down. Nancy said, Layle, I sent you an email to add these product line to my order again. So I think what Nancy's saying is mittens and mistletoe. She has an order that has not shipped and she is asking me to add to her order, which I can do. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but if you have an order that has not shipped yet, and you know it hasn't shipped, if you have not received the email shipping confirmation with your tracking number, you know it hasn't shipped, you can send me an email because a lot of you do. Denise Dufresne. Just kidding. I mean, not kidding, but kidding. Denise has added quite a few things to her order since she placed it, which is good. I can totally be accommodating. I love it. I'm not going to tell you no. But yes, I can add to your order on the back end and then just send you an email with a button to click to pay. So you don't have to place another order. Now, if you want to place another order, you can. You just have to let me know that you're doing that because sometimes I can catch it, but most of the time I can't. Especially, there are a lot of orders that started going out today with that year in review, 2023 year in review project kit. And there are a lot of orders that are going to be flying out next week. Not flying, I mean shipping next week. But with so many orders, I don't know if you haven't told me if you place more than one order and want them to ship together. So just if you want things to ship together, make sure to tell me. All right, we need to come in and chop these things up. And the way you tell me is just email me. It's funny. Sometimes you guys will get so excited. Sometimes you'll have like literally 5 or 6 orders that you place separately. And I can do it. I can totally, ship them all together. And then the benefit of that is that you don't pay for shipping all those times. You get charged for shipping all those times because you place an order and it charges you. But then I can refund all but one when your order is ready to ship. Okay, I think this guy needs to go up a little bit higher. I don't want it to be even, right? I don't want it to be even, but I also don't want it to be in the center because center's weird. So we'll have it be right about there. I'm going to put this guy down first. All right, friends. So tell me, what if you are listing with me, even if you're not listing with me, what is on your About Last Month list? Like, what is one of the things that happened in your world last month that whether you are listing or even if you're not, that you would be documenting? Also tell me, if you don't want to tell me that, like, what are you doing this weekend? What is on your plate this weekend besides hanging out with me, which I'm so very grateful for? What's on your plate? Okay, there we go. And then that guy. So we'll see if this works over here, as was suggested. Oh, look at what I did. Oh, angel time. I got it, Colleen. Thank you. Thank you. So you guys, I have this time, this 12:34. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why in my head it's just like a special time. And some people call it angel time, so let's look. No, I don't really like it there. It was a good suggestion. But let's look and see. What if it comes over here? So it could kind of come there, and then it kind of, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll let it kind of sit there. We'll let it percolate for a bit. All right, so good start. Now I need to start my list, okay? Oh, yes, 11, 11, and 420. Carmen, we won't ask what 420 is for. I'm just, some people say 420. A new gluten-free mint Oreo. Melissa, that sounds amazing. Oh, I love mint Oreos. Mint Oreos like my very favorite thing. Birthday cake is on my plate. Judith, that's right. Judith K. I'm so glad you said that. Judith Burnett, has a very big birthday coming up tomorrow. So Judith, happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing day. J-Lo finished her December daily at Lizzie's. Yep, that's the class that she took with me. I love it. Lovely Plants is her granddaughter. They're going to watch a movie. She's 5. Oh my gosh, I love that. Terry just swatched 43 Christmas washi in her washi swatch book. Terry, take a picture and post it on the Facebook group. I want to see it. Jackie adopted an 11-month-old Siberian Husky named Spike. She hasn't had a dog in 11 years and hard getting used to one. Oh, I love that, Jackie. That is so fun. Paula went to my neck of the woods, Lehi, Utah, which is about 45 minutes from my house, to visit her daughter and grandson the week before Christmas. I love it. I love it. Yes. Happy birthday, Judith. I would sing, but you don't want me to sing, I promise. All right, so let's start the list, and then I will come in and maybe do a little bit more decorating around it, because there's this kind of blank up here, and I think we need a few more things in there. Although, if we're going to do a few more things, probably what I should do is, what if we take this sticker, and what if we put it kind of right here? Then it makes it seem like maybe that guy isn't so weird just kind of sitting in the middle there, right? So now it's kind of, if I do that, I feel like I need something maybe a little bit more right in there. So what would that be? Maybe a snowflake, right? It could be a snowflake because I have some black here and black here. So maybe if we do a snowflake about, I don't know, right there. How about that? All right. And then that trapped white space, we're going to figure something out for that because that's going to drive me nuts. All right. Oh, now look at what I could have used. I probably could have found something here to go there, but that's okay. Oh, look at, see, I didn't have to make my own thing. I could have used a little puffy stickers, but that's all right. Okay, I think we're ready to list. So guess which bullet stamp I am going to use for this. Dun, 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 dun. We have a couple of options on bullets and more. We have a Santa and we have a, where is it? Snowflake, Santa, Christmas tree, holly. I think maybe I'll do the holly. I think the holly, well, let's try all three. How about that? We'll try all three and see which we like, or I could even mix and match them. Okay, Santa, Christmas tree, holly. Actually, it may end up being the Christmas tree. I don't know. Let's look. Now, I will use black, whichever one that is, it is going to be black because then all my writing will be in black just because that's what I do. Okay, here we go. All of the bullet stamps fit on the end of the stamping stylus. That was by design. Very important. In fact, the designer I work with, when I say, this is what I want, and when she comes back and I say, oh, those are great, except those are too big. They won't fit on the stamping stylus. And she says, okay, back to the drawing board. Because all the bullets have to fit on the stamping stylus. All right, look at holly. Isn't that awesome? And look at the detail there, you guys. And that is a really teeny tiny stamp. Look at that detail. Let's see if we want to do holly. That's that darn heart that I'm going to lose. I know it. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be like, where's the heart? And you guys will be like, remember, you didn't put it away? Okay, here's the Santa. Look at the Santa. Okay, again, look at the detail on that. That's what Stamps Made in the USA will get you. Super, super, super fine little detail of that Santa. I mean, I don't know, that's maybe a 1/2 inch. So it's a teeny stamp. Teeny, teeny, teeny stamp. I know what I think I will do. How about this? What if we use all three? I'm going to leave this one loaded. And I have another just for this purpose, but where is it? Oh, here we go. I have 2. So when I want to do something like this, I don't have to take them on and off. So I'm going to use all 3, and I will use every third one. Okay, look at tree, holly, Santa. Mary said she made granddaughter's Christmas doilies at our family Christmas party. Christmas doilies. I don't know what Christmas doilies are. Interesting. Very curious to know. Carmen, it's already out. This is the Bullets and More 2 stamp set. So it has, I think, like 80 some odd, I'd have to look at the packaging, 70-ish, 80-ish some odd bullets. All right, so we'll start out with Santa. There we go, cute little Santa. All right, so now I need to do my list. Sorry about that, just dropping stuff right and left. Everything was very organized to start, but not so much anymore. All right, so we're back here to my handy dandy notebook. And this is about last month. Okay, so this is going to be really happy and then it's going to be really downer. I mean, not bad in the grand scheme of things. Put your heart. Oh, Deborah, yes, put my heart on the other end. Duh. There we go. Now I'm going to make sure not to use that one. All right, so the University of Utah, where Nick and I both went to college, University of Utah, won the Pac-12 championship game and was headed to the Rose Bowl for the second year in a row. Pac-12 champs. Now, that already happened. And Carmen says, yay, Utes. And I say, yay, Utes, but they lost, which was a huge bummer. But you know what? Oh, guess what? I do not like that black. I am not happy with that. I want to use a color. So I am going to use, let's see if this works. Actually, let's test it first. My Poshka white paint pen and see if I can erase that. And when I say erase, I'm going to write right over it. I do not like the black. You can't see what's happening. So I need to have something in color. Now, what I don't know, I should have tried this first, is once I erase that, if I'll be able to stamp over it. Because I've tried that with a gel pen. I've never tried that with the Poshka paint pen. So you can kind of see that I did that, but we'll just leave that for a bit and see how it treats. Okay, we're just going to leave it. So I do not want to use black. And now I need to clean these guys off. I need to use the red and the green. And I think I'll just use green. I don't want to alternate. That's way too much alternating in color. I'm going to use the red and the green. And I'm going to use the green. I'm going to use the green. All right, something is happening there that we can talk about. Especially this will happen on your little stamps, but all of your stamps will eventually do this. They get a little bit of lint on the back of them or little hairs, and then they will not stick to your stamping block, or in this case, a little stylus. So I have a little spray bottle with water in it, just plain old water. And I took a little cloth, and I have those here in my craft room. And when that happens to my stamps, I just clean off the back. And now that guy will stamp, no problem. Yes, what I was saying is, unfortunately, Utah lost, which was very sad. Scrapbook Sista's co-worker went to Penn State. He was at the game, yes. Carmen, so University of Utah and BYU, Brigham Young University, are intense rivals. So sounds like she's got family members that root for both. But anyway, still we had fun. I mean, we had an amazing time. That is just so much fun to be in that environment and the Rose Bowl and, championship game. But they just didn't. Quarterback got hurt. And that was the end of that, pretty much. I still don't know how he's doing. I don't think they've said yet how he is faring. Knee or leg or something. All right, anyhow, we had fun. But this was December. This was the beginning of December. Oh, Betty, you know what? It could be dust on the stylus too. You know what? You're right. Let's do that. That's a good idea. That is a good idea to wipe both things off. Golly. That one's just giving me fits. Okay, so next up, let's do, I don't know if I want to alternate. I'm just going to do green. I guess we can see. Sorry that I'm being so indecisive here, friends. Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? We just are indecisive, and that's what is happening to me right now. Indecisiveness. Okay, there's that. I like that one. I'm just going to use that one. Let's make it easy. Let's just make it easy. All right. Next up on my list is my December daily, right? That's what a huge part of December is for me every year, is working on that project. I still have 2 days to go, the 24th and the 25th. And then I need to film a video. Oh yeah, that was my 15th year doing that. I wrote that down, but I forgot to add it. We went to a holiday party. So the photos over here are some of the things. Photos are some of the things, but not all of the things. And sometimes I could, I suppose, have something in a photo that wasn't here. Lori said, sorry about the Utes. I was rooting for them. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Crochet Christmas doilies. Oh, I bet that's so fun, Mary. Hi, Valerie. Oh, Valerie, you're the one who said to put the heart on the other end. I just saw your comment. I didn't see that was you before. All right, so that one, then, oh yes, Sam is our younger son. It was Sam's 22nd birthday. I think I'll start rotating the direction of these. It might be nice to have those rotated a little bit. All right, then we had, oh yes, I did a solo day of Christmas shopping. I had a lot of fun doing that. And I walked many steps in the mall. Because why not? Okay. Oh yes. Several night walks in the snow. Oh yeah, I was talking about that before. A step, when Nick and I were doing like a step challenge thing called Step Bet, which has had us be very active. In fact, last night we are watching Yellowstone, and I had 4,000 steps that I still needed to do. I have to do 4 times a week. I have to do like 11,200, and twice a week I've got to do like 13,400. And yesterday I did not leave the house. So the fact that I was able to get like 7,000 steps, that's just working in my house, and I do not have a huge house. So yeah, lots of walking around. But I think, Denise, I think we're in 3. I think we're in 3. Carmen said, looks like his injury will take a while to recover. Oh, that's no good. That makes me sad. Oh, well, what do you do? Well, yes, I had a new stamp release. So if you are new to this whole type of listing with me, this whole about last month, this is what it is. Some photos and run on journaling, not even journaling, just list of what happened, things that we did in the month. And then there you go. So super easy way to memory keep and get it documented and done. And same format that I used for the entire year. The grid, the stamp, the list, the photos, add a little bit of additional decoration. Makes it easy. Super easy. When you don't mess up on your stamping twice. That took us a while to get through. Oh, yes. This is the second year we've done this. Breakfast with some neighbors. Hi, honey.
You just yell at me?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
Where have you been?
I'm working.
Oh. Second year in a row, we went to breakfast at the International House of Pancakes. No, Pancake House. I don't know what it was. Pancake something or other. Pancake House. And we gave our waitress, each of us, in addition to paying our bill, brought a $100 bill, and we gave our waitress a $1,000 tip. Just it's a fun, neat thing that we started doing last year and did it again this year, and it was just a really neat thing to do. So we had lots and lots of snow. Oh my heavens, we've had so much snow. Oh my goodness. Linda May, you too? Linda May's in Utah. Linda May, for some reason, if you're still here, I thought you were in Harriman. And then I saw your order the other day, and you're like north, right? I was like, wait a minute, what? Maybe you had your horses in Harriman or something one day, you said. I got confused. Lots and lots and lots of snow. I did a trip to Spokane to visit Leavenworth with my friend Michelle that owns 3 Craft Chicks. Leavenworth, there is a Bavarian style village in the Cascade Mountains in central Washington state. And oh my goodness, it's so cool. We had so much fun. So that was a bucket list trip for sure. I'd wanted to do that for a long time. I got sick right after that, which was a bummer. And we made, Nick and I made our annual whoopie cakes, which I posted the recipe finally in the Facebook group. Those are tasty. I've been doing that with the boys. Started doing that with the boys when they were little. We did a snow hike on Christmas Eve day. Normally we go snowshoeing, but I was not quite feeling 100%. So we did a little snow hike, not huge, but little snow hike. Yes, Laurie, especially at Christmas time, for sure. Kathy, look it, I love that. Kathy said we took your tip idea for my girlfriend's lunch. We did $25, so the waitress got a $125 tip. She was blown away and so thankful. You know what, Kathy? I think anything. I mean, some of those people work so hard, and it's anything that goes above and beyond, I think is just such a special thing to do. So I am happy that you guys did that, and I love that what we do in our neighborhood inspired you to do that. Thank you for sharing that. I love it. Oh yes, Sam came over with Reggie. Reggie is his cat. With Reggie the cat. Oh my goodness. You guys, Sam, oh my heavens. So Sam's our younger son. He just turned 22. I mentioned that. He brought his cat. And he's got a little harness on the cat and a little leash and had a little sweater. And oh my gosh, it was the cutest thing. He would have thought that he was like a kid on Christmas, but it was Christmas Eve day. And he brought his cat over. It was really fun. It's kind of cool. All right. Oh yes, here it is. I talked before on my list, a squirrel tree. I need to post that in the Facebook group. I was mentioning earlier, Susan Delgado was on. I'm going to call her one of the Texas gals because that's what they call themselves. Very long story short, they gave me an ornament, a squirrel ornament, when I was teaching at an event in September. And they said, oh my gosh, we thought this would be great to add to your squirrel tree. And I'm like, squirrel tree? What do you mean? And they said, well, I'm sure you have a squirrel tree with squirrel ornaments. And I said, no. You guys, like 2 weeks later, knock on the door, it's Amazon, and they ordered a 5-foot pre-lit Christmas tree for me. And now it has squirrel ornaments on it. I've started collecting squirrel ornaments. I have theirs that they gave me front and center. A couple of you have sent me some things in the past that when I looked at twice, I'm like, that could totally be an ornament. Hung that on the tree. And then I bought a few squirrel ornaments when Michelle and I were in Leavenworth. So yes, squirrel tree. I now have 2 Christmas trees. Although squirrel tree is not going to get put away. Squirrel tree is going to live in the basement where all of my business operates. So that's kind of fun. All righty. And then last thing, headed to Pasadena on 12/30 for the Rose Bowl in Harvey, our RV. Okay, there we go. So there we have it. That is my list. Right down here, I am going to put 12/22. I need to date it, even though that says December. I want to date 12/22. That really came in handy for me when I sent all of my finished, completed books like this off to have the pages photographed for the idea book. Well, things need to be dated because I know what dates they are. I know. Oh, look it. This one's not dated because it hasn't been sent off yet. I had to go through all of my past books and add dates where things weren't dated because When you're doing something like this, like I hate it when, that could be in the idea book. And if it wasn't dated, you don't know when it is, and I don't know when it is either. So it kind of helps us to organize things. Anyhow, I say always, always, always date. Okay, friends, I'm going to leave it that way for now. I need to come back and I will do something there. I don't know what yet, but I will figure something out. I'm going to move to the next list. And the next list is an extension of this list. This next list gets done twice a year. Once a year, not twice a year. Wow, that would make no sense. It gets done once a year. I need to add a little bit more stuff behind that. And this one just popped off. I let it dry too much before I used it. So that they call this two-way glue. When it's blue, it's permanent. If you let it dry till it's clear, it is temporary. That's why that little piece just popped off. Actually, I know right in here, I need a little something. I'm going to very quickly put either a, not there, pine cone or a snowflake. I think it's going to be a snowflake because the pine cones are kind of large in scale. No, I don't like it there. Or there. Too big. So that's where the little puffies come in. The small puffies will come into play. And let's just grab, that looks like a good one. Just a little bit smaller scale. There we go. I'll still figure that out, so no worries. We'll take a look at that next week. Okay, next list. Along the same lines, this list happens once a year. This one is called About Last Year, okay? About Last Year. So we do all 12 months, and then I need to recap the entire year, which is super easy. Do you know why it's easy? Because all I have to do is go back to all of my prior list for the year and pull out, I don't know, maybe one or two things from each month, and then that's the year. So it's a fun way to kind of recap the full year. Now, I mentioned I had sent all of my traveler's notebooks off for photography. So I was faced with a little bit of a dilemma and thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to remember all of those things? Guess what I did? I went back to my handy dandy notebook, went back to, here's January. So I went back to the first month, well, really the second month, February, and look, there's amount last month for January. There are all of the things. So all I had to do was go through all of those lists since I didn't have my actual layouts because they're all for photography. And that's how I pulled that together. For the things on my list, then there's the photo. And that was very easy for me to do as well. This is one of the things that I shared last year, and I will talk about again this year as part of my workflow when I do the About Last Month, on how I know what photos I want to use. I have a folder on my in my camera roll on my iPhone that is called About Last Month. And I put the photos that I use every month in there because it helps me with my workflow when I'm doing this and printing the photos on a monthly basis. But then all of the photos are in that folder. So when it comes time to do this and get a good assortment of photos for the year, I just go to that folder and they're all there and I can pick what I want. So that made it so much easier. I need to put this away. That made it so much easier for me to access my photos and access the things on my list because I just went back to what I had already used. Things like that can make your life really easy if you spend a little bit of time organizing up front, right? A little bit of time organizing up front, and that I'll talk through in detail, that whole workflow that I found really works for me in that class. Okay, so we are, oh my goodness, it's 1. We're starting our third list. Well, we had 2 kind of big lists. Well, we didn't. This is list 3. The About Last Month one always takes a little bit longer because there's more to do. And yeah, we'll see how far we get, you guys. We'll go until, it's 1 o'clock Mountain Time. That's my time zone. We will go into 2. So we'll for sure finish this one. And then we'll see how far we get on the next one. So because it's 2022, I'm still using the same exact format, right? My 5x7 with 9 photos, room for 12, but I don't put anything in those 3 spaces so I can kind of decorate. Let's go ahead and get that on. The collection that I will be using for this spread is Print Shop, okay? So that is Vicky's Print Shop. Vicky Booten, my dear friend Vicky. That's Vicky's Print Shop collection. Let me get all of these Christmas out of the way on that little tray. And where is, oh my goodness, Layle, what have I done? 1, 2, how did I only have, oh, okay. Hang on. Print Shop is in here. I just need to find it. What was I thinking? Clearly wasn't. I only have half of the product out that I needed to use for the list. And here I thought everything was all so nice and organized. I guess I probably should have come in here one more time between episodes of Yellowstone last night. Where the heck? Layle. Hold on. Hold on. Hang on, friends. Oh my goodness. It has got to be here. I can like see it in my head. I can see it in my head. Susan, just back in time for the squirrel tree story. Yep, it's still downstairs. I'm gonna take a picture of it and I will put it in the Facebook group. Oh my heavens, you guys, where is it? You know when I start and you were asking about those colored albums that were behind me? Well, everything in there is shelves. I mean, everything, you know, with little doors on them. And that is where I put all the product that I am working on. I just have no idea where Print Shop is. Oh, I'm gonna be so mad at myself. Okay, hang on, guys. If I can't find it, I'll just go downstairs and get all new. Because nobody wants to sit here and watch or listen to me get frustrated trying to find it. Okay, what did I do with it, friends? You know. Tell me. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Okay. I am, once again, going to go downstairs and get Print Shop. No? Okay. I'm sorry, I apologize. Take a bio break, grab a snack, get some liquid, and I'll be back. I am getting my steps in today. All right, so now we're gonna have 3 giveaways today because one person is going to win a bunch of a little bit open, a little bit used Print Shop because I'm gonna have to open everything again because I don't know what I did with everything else. So just know. You know what? What the heck? Hang on. Let me look at my list. You know what's really funny? I know what I did. Did you know how all of this product that I had on the flat lay was a totally different collection? So I know Kim on a tray, I thought it was on a tray, but it's not. It is not on a tray. I'm just gonna look one more time just in case. It is not on a tray. Yep, no clue. The room's not that big, so. All right, well anyhow, it's funny though because I don't know what I was thinking because I don't think I'm using Print Shop. I think maybe this is the reason I don't have Print Shop out is because all of the stuff that I had on the flat lay, the photo from beforehand was another collection. Wow. Oh, goodness. Goodness. All right. We're just going to pivot here really quick. We're not using Print Shop. That's why I had all of this stuff out, if you were wondering. Because I had thought that might be a fun thing to use with the little books because it's kind of our about last year. Let's see what else we have now that I had planned. That can go there maybe. This collection and Print Shop would also work. Both are good collections because they're super kind of neutral. Not really themey. Debbie, parasols for the next one. Oh, goodness. Yeah. It's all good. Both collections, both Life Captured, which is this one, the Simple Stories Life Captured, and Print Shop, which is Vicky's, are both great everyday generic collections that you need for something like this when you're trying to recap a whole year. Because they don't really have a theme to them, right? They don't really have a theme. They just have lots of good parts. We'll use Print Shop next week. This is also the collection that I use. Someone was asking earlier about the numbers. This is also the numbers and the bird and the washi part of that same collection, Life Captured. All right, so photos, yes, that needs to be a part of it. This kind of works well, the little stories. We have some flowers. Maybe a flower in here. We just need to start doing some layering. Something needs to go in here. There's a heart. Hearts are always good, except I wouldn't want it to be a red heart. This is a little like pen, maybe. This would be cute, this little clip. We'll put that little clip right up there. It's like it's clipping that. Let's put that there now. That little clip. So these are die cuts, and I am using die cuts. There are 2 die cuts in this collection, the Life Captured from Simple Stories. One of the regular bits and pieces. That's what Simple Stories calls their die cuts, bits and pieces. And the other ones are called title bits. So title bits, that's all of these fun ones. All these kind of generic words. But then also in title bits, you have these. The months, April, May, January. So if you're doing another type of project, those would be fun as well. All right, so now let's put Print Shop off to the side. And let's find the tray that has, here we go. Well, I was looking for the, oh my goodness. Yeah, I was looking for the sticker book. I'm so embarrassed. I was looking for the sticker book and I don't know where the sticker book is. Here it is. It's right here. I'm not embarrassed. Never mind. I think most of you know me, so hopefully you just know this is sometimes what happens, right? Sometimes what happens when there's lots happening in life, right? Sometimes that's what happens. I kind of like this little lamp. The lamp is no, lamp won't work. Not enough room for a lamp. We're back to this. Let's look at the stickers. Typewriter's kind of cute. Maybe a typewriter goes over here. Let's do it. Oh, I want to use this washi though. This is my months of the year washi. And I am going to advance to January. But all of this does not have to be lost or wasted. If I wrap that around a wax-coated playing card, then I can use that at any time in the future. So I'll just pop it right up there for now, but I will later come back and put that on wax-coated playing cards so I can use whatever part of that I need. Whoopsie. All right, so here we go. Super basic font. So works with lots of things. I have used this washi before, like this, where it is a full months. I've also just cut out just individual months when I just needed a little bit of an individual. What's nice about this washi is that it is transparent. So it literally just looks like it is the months. You don't see kind of that white above and below it. Let's see, what are we saying? I know, Terry said it might be time for some water. You guys are talking about print shop. Yes. Sounds like Vicky's class was sold out for print shop. Mindy. All right, here we go. This guy will go here. This guy will go here. And I'm gonna just put this right in the middle. Like that. I like the camera. I think the camera goes really well, right? I think we'll put the camera right there next to the books. And then we will add a few more things. Oopsie. That will go there. I am going to grab a really quick tool. I used this quite a bit yesterday as I was finishing up the 2023 Year in Review kit. This is called highlighter tape. It is originally designed for highlighting text in a book. So if this is my textbook or a book that I'm reading, I could put that there and it would highlight it. So I could use that instead of using a highlighter. What it's really handy for, however, is because it's reusable, it comes on and off, is for hooking pieces together. Now, probably what I have done if I was starting this again was I would have hooked all three of those pieces together. Once I get those exactly where I want them, then I can come in with my tape runner, my adhesive, whatever I'm using, and put that down. So that's the exact place I wanted them, and then peel this back up. It is designed to work on paper. So nothing gets lifted. None of the ink gets lifted, none of the paper gets lifted, and as I mentioned, you can reuse it. So when I reuse it, I just put it on the little applicator. I think I showed last week when we were together, a large heart wreath that I made for one of my December daily pages, where I used probably 40 vellum hearts that I connected all together where I wanted them with different pieces of that highlighter tape, and then turned it all over, adhered, and then had them in that shape. So it's kind of fun and handy for that. All right, so let's look. Stories. These are stories, right? That might be kind of fun to do there. Stories. Or their moments. If I wanted to, no, I like that color. I mean, I don't particularly like that color. Chartreusey kind of, but I kind of like that its placement there. Let's see what else we have. Remember. Remember would work. But that's going to take, I don't know, that's really wide, so I don't think I want to do that. I think stories is good because it's kind of, stories is kind of not as wide, not as long. But let's look in here again and see if maybe we have numbers, months. I was thinking maybe there would be, I can look at the back. No. I do not have shorter stickers, so we'll use that one. And then I am going to use, actually, that could maybe go right there. If I put that there, I know it covers up Nick's head. Oh, it covers up part of Chris Stapleton too. I like that there. We're going to do that. Documented. Look at that. Documented fits a little bit better. We'll add documented. I'm going to take this guy off because it's a little bit too tall. I don't want that part sticking out. Oh, my stomach just growled. All right. Don't know if you guys can hear that. Hi, Kim Create One, who's just joining and loves the highlighter tape. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. Cherie, has a project going. Shelves in the basement. I love it for Christmas decorations. All right, there we go. That is there, documented. All right, I think we'll still use stories over here. And then I need to do, we'll do that. And maybe we'll just have a little bit of that cut off. Stories kind of ties in with the typewriter, right? And then we need to do about last year. Not about last month, we need to do about last year. So what I'm going to do, I need, so this is interesting. I had set aside some number stamps from my friend Carrie Bradford, and I was going to do a little bit of number stamping. However, they are a little bit larger. So let's see what will happen here. They might be too big. Let's see. I don't know. They can be big and bold. That might be okay. So what I thought I would do in this stamp set, this is called Outnumbered 2. They're a bit older, so you may not be able to find them anymore. Word to the wise, when it comes to Carrie Bradford stamps, if you see it and you want it, you should buy it because then they will be gone. Every once in a while, she comes out with the new ones again. Every once in a while, she'll re-release. But I've learned the hard way. If I want it and I've just got to do it or they'll be gone. So what I thought I would do one stamp set, you have the solid and then you have the outline. So I thought it might be kind of fun to do solid stamp and then outline with black. So let's just look and see what this might look like. And I'll have to do, obviously, I will end up doing them all in individual stamps because I need 3 2s. So let's just look. I think it'll be okay. I'm going to go with it. Now, as I look at the colors I want to use, I have these 2 colors. I will not use that again here. But another color that's jumping out to me. I could do the mint. Well, I can't really do the mint because Tim Holtz does not have a mint. I could try to find something that was close to that, but I wouldn't want mint and mint up here together. That would be too much mint. But the color that's jumping out to me is this color because I have it here and here. So it might be kind of fun to do that there, though, in that color. And I'm going to say it's probably abandoned coral. Abandoned coral is probably going to be the closest thing to that. It's funny how you start to get to know your colors. Let's look. Oh, I'm going the opposite direction. Abandoned coral. Well, that's pretty darn close, isn't it? That is what I'm going to do, abandoned coral. So let me reach back here and grab abandoned coral. Okay, and I need stamp block. Now, I suppose I could do the 2 and the O together, right? I could do both of those together. There's really no reason to single stamp those. Whoopsie. See, spatially challenged. Layle, I am so spatially challenged. I did those not upside down, but I did them totally the wrong way. There we go. All right, but I would like them to be a little bit closer together. Pretty much as close as I can get them. All right, I am not even. Here's another trick. you can lay things down on your surface. So I'm laying them face down. And then you can pick them up with the stamping block. My hair's going to be in the way in a minute. Sorry. Okay, there we go. There's my 20. So let's get out our stamping notebook, my tester book. Right here. And let's see if this is what we like. Ink that up. Oh, it's such a bright, vibrant color. And then when I do the outline, slightly offset in black, I think it's going to look, oh, guess what I didn't do? Those are brand new stamps. Well, those two I had not used before. So I did not prime them first. Here's the reason why you want to prime. Look what's going to happen. When I go to stamp that, I am not going to have complete coverage. Actually, that's not too bad. But do you see the kind of little see-through parts there? You should always prime your stamps first. If you prime your stamp first, the reason why you want to prime a stamp is because there is a very thin, on your photopolymer stamps, that's what these are, there is a very thin layer or coating. You can't see it, you can't peel it off, it's just there. You need to get rid of that before you stamp, or else you're going to have some odd things happen. This is a really good example. So if you see, do you see all my different 5s? Do you see how they're really splotchy? And then that last time, that's because I didn't prime them first. Same thing with the 4s, really splotchy. Stamping 4 different times in a row, by the time, and re-inking every time, by the time that it got to that one, that layer had now kind of been stamped off. So always, always, always a good idea to prime first. Now, priming, there's a couple different things you can do. You can stamp that way, but that's a very wasteful, it's a waste of time because you're stamping over and over and over again. It's also a waste of ink because you're stamping over and over and over again. What I usually do is I have a white eraser. This guy. It's a white block eraser. I have these on my website. The only thing I use this for is for priming my stamps. And I won't, well, I'll just show you. Basically, you just erase over the top of the stamp. And I'm not doing that. I'm not like really pressing hard, but I'm just getting rid of that top layer. Now, the top layer was already gone by the time that I had stamped. So I was just kind of showing you that. You can also use a just like a damp cloth and rub it over the top. Some people even say they'll like rub it on their clothes. I just usually get out my little eraser and do that. So let's start fresh again. I could tell that was happening because I could see the ink starting to separate, not separate, how do I say this? Pool. The ink pool in spots on the stamp itself. So then I went, oh my gosh, I forgot to prime that first. I'm such a dummy. I am such a dummy. Guess what I'm going to do? No, I'll keep going. I have number stamps. They're part of the Focus stamp set. I'm a dummy. I should have thought to use those, huh? That's okay. We'll continue with this. Look at how nice, though. Nice, beautiful, solid impression. Part of that, for me, is the ink that I like to use. Part of that is Distress ink. I call it a juicy ink. It just, to me, stamps very, very well, and I like really solid coverage when I am stamping. So I use Distress Oxide. All right, it's a pigment-based ink. Takes a little bit to dry, not a ton, but just a little bit. All right, you notice I put my pencil board under there first. And I need to figure out where, let's look at this. That is about 2 inches. So if I need 4 inches here, looks like I need to start right about, except I'll go down 4 and 4. Looks like I need to start right about there. Uh-oh. All right. Ink it up. Hi, Kathy. Back from a wedding. I hope it was a lovely wedding. All right. Now I got a little bit of ink on my stamping block, so I want to get rid of that before I do anything. I also have a little bit of ink on my fingers, and I want to get that off before I stamp because I can see I already have a little bit of ink on my list. That's all right. It is what it is, right? No use crying over ink. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I didn't give it even coverage, so I have another trick. I am going to take a Q-tip, okay? Take a Q-tip, and I can get a little bit of ink on that Q-tip, and I can come in and just kind of paint that right on. All right, now there probably is an abandoned coral watercolor pencil. But this is just another little technique I can show you while we're at it. Okay? So I am very carefully kind of painting that on. Here's another thing that I could have done if I wasn't happy with that and I didn't want to take a whole piece of white cardstock to just put right there. These letters would be fairly easy to cut out. So I could have stamped them on something entirely different and then fussy cut them, and they would have been kind of like little die cuts. Now, speaking of die cuts, what also would work would be the number die cuts or the number stickers from this same collection if I didn't want to mess with stamping. All right, but then that way I get them all the same color. Okay, so let's clean off the O. And now I'm going to have to stamp the 2 twice. So I'll have to ink it up, stamp, and then ink it up again and stamp. So I'll do that and then come right back in and do it again. Sarah, stamp press, would that have helped for even coverage? Not the Misty, the handheld one. I don't know, Sarah. I haven't used that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is. Is it something that you can, those tools are awesome, like the Misty, because I know that. I'm not sure what the other one is. But awesome when you can take a page out. But in this case, since we can't take a page out, it's really hard to do with the Misty. So I wonder if you can do it with that other tool you're talking about. I'm going to pay more attention to my even coverage where I'm pressing. There we go. Nice and lovely. Boy, that is like really bright in your face, isn't it? The wide round bottom. I don't know. Stamp press. The wide round bottom. Sarah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know what you mean. Okay, hang on. Yes. This thing. One of these, right? One of these. So this is from Stamptabulous. This is what you're talking about. With a stamping block like this, no, because it has the little handles. I don't know. I haven't tried to use something like this with a regular stamping block. I would be a little bit, I'll have to play with it. I would be a little bit leery about doing it just because I'd be leery about trying to hold it and then do that without that moving around a lot. So I don't know, but I'll play with it. I'll play with it and report back. Yeah, we're only going to get 2 lists done today. I mean, 3 lists. Oh my gosh. I am just butterfingers. Did you see what I just did up there? Wow, it's not my finest moment today, friends. I don't know why. I got plenty of sleep. I got plenty of sleep. I felt very well rested, so I'm not sure what's going on. You would think I'm flustered. I'm really not. I'm just, I don't know what's happening. Who knows? Sometimes you just got to call it, huh? Now, I need to make sure that's plenty far in there. So interesting. My measuring is not quite on either, is it? My thinking I could do 4 inches. Not quite on, but that's okay. We'll just put something at the front. Okay, now I need to come back in. Let's get rid of the abandoned coral before it's everywhere. And let's come back in now with the outlined version. And because I've tested that in my handy dandy notebook before I do something here, I can make sure that I'm going to like the way that looks. And we'll just, for simplicity's sake, do this. Use black. And when I do this, I like to offset it a little bit because I like the look of it being offset. It also makes it a lot easier, so you're not trying to get it on exact, right? There we go. So that's what I'm going to do, and that will help to tone down a little bit that really bright coral. All right, so I can do all 3 of the 2s at the same time and then come back, well, not the same time, but one after the other. And then I can come back in with the 0. Re-inking every time though. Okay, so part of my problem is I'm standing. I always stand when I'm crafting. I pretty much always stand when I'm working too. But I don't quite have a bird's eye view. It is a little bit in front of me. So normally I'd have it about here and then I'd be able to see really well and get even pressure really well. But if I pull it all the way down here, then I'm working off camera and that's not a very good thing to do. So ooh, that one's almost right on. I didn't even try to make it right on. Much easier to try to have it be offset because it's easy to be offset, way hard to be even. Okay, there we go. And now I come in with the 0. There's that. So those of you that either did the 2022 year in review with me, all of this past year, well, all of the past year, or those of you that do your about last months, all in the same traveler's notebook, this would be a great way to end your insert. If you're not doing like I do, they just, wherever they happen, they happen. But if you're using a separate insert for all of your about last months, then that would be a great way to kind of end or recap. All right, so there we go, 2022, and now I need to write up at the top, instead of saying about last month, I have a stamp that says about last month, but I need to write about last year. So I will write about last year above. About last year, 2022. And now I need to come in and do my outlining. It's funny how that black really, I mean, that's still pretty bright, but how that black really helps to tone down the coral, isn't it? Just really helps tone it down. And actually, the black in that double layered stamp, I guess layered, not double layered, works really well because of the black in both of those die cuts and then the black in the camera. So if you're doing a list like this and shopping from your stash, look for a collection or a grouping of products that kind of doesn't have a theme to it, right? Something that really does not have a theme. So it works for all of your months. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little divider line right here. Like that. And then we'll be ready to roll. I need something there though. That's just kind of I like that as a backdrop, but it is, it's a little bit too plain. Maybe the mint. Maybe the pulling in the mint. Then we have mint, and then I need to get some mint in over here, right? So then I don't really have any mint over here. So we need to come up with some mint over here so we have a little bit more of a balance. I need something small, so let's go back to the sticker book and see what we can find. Lots of mint, but nothing that I really want to put over there. Unless this little guy. Maybe this little pen. This little pen could work. Maybe right there. Let's see. Let us see. Carla said, Carla did 2021 and 22, the year in reviews with me. I love that. Thank you, Carla. She said they're amazing. And I'm jumping in part of a conversation, so I will not, I don't know what we're talking about, so I will not pop in there. What do you suppose that is? I don't know. This just caught my eye. What in the heck do you think that is? It a pencil sharpener? I've never noticed that before, but it kind of looks like a razor blade. That's interesting. Sorry, that just caught my eye. I'm like, what the heck is that? Okay, there's more. Well, let's look. If we put something like this over here, let's put that there. And then I won't put the mint over here. We'll come up with something different over there. Maybe this guy goes over here. Sure, why not? That works. All right, so now is when we jump into our list, okay? Now is when we jump into our list, and this is just a recap of the whole year. All the things that are going on my list are pulled from each of not all the things, some of the things are pulled from my individual lists from each of the months from 2022. Now where is, guess what I'm looking for? I am looking for that little heart. Oh, you know what I could use? I could use the heart on, what if we use this heart? Or maybe a heart's too much. What if we use this guy? This little asterisks. This is the asterisks that is on the, about last month for 2022. Because then it's kind of neutral. It's a little bit neutral. Let's just make sure we like it. And I know I don't want it to be black. I know it can't be mint. So, what about this? What if we use, two different, maybe options. What about, I was thinking maybe we could use hickory smoke again, just because hickory smoke is kind of what we're seeing here, 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 here. So maybe that would work. Let's see if we like it. There's that. All right, let's see what we think that would look like. I'm going to do it. I'd really like to work in a yellow, but no, I won't work in a yellow because there's really no yellow on here, just that, and I think it would look a little odd. So we've kind of used all the colors. We know there's not a mint, so we're going with hickory smoke. Hickory smoke for the win again. All right, so things on my list for 2022, all of 2022, we have, we went to the Rose Bowl twice. Now, I know I already talked about that kind of in my last list, but that was December. So, 2 trips to Pasadena. right? Because it was really, the Rose Bowl game was on January 1st last year. And then the Rose Bowl game, and we left for the Rose Bowl game for 2022, whatever. We went twice in the same year for 2 different years, if that makes sense. Oh, yes. I had COVID twice. Let's see. Jack and Kat, his girlfriend, started dating. Now, I believe it was in 2022 that they started. Now, when you're mom to son, sometimes you don't know those things. We met her in 2022, and he told us in 2022, but it could have been 2021, the end, for all of I know. But there we go. They started dating. Jack, our older son, and his girlfriend. I celebrated the 3-year anniversary of Layle by mail. April 1st, not an April Fool's joke, April 1st this year in 2023 will be my 4th year. My 4th year where I've been on my own doing Layle by mail. Kylie, love how you're using more colors and stepping out of your comfort zone. I've been doing that a lot, Kylie. I've been trying to incorporate more colors in all of my stamping because my stamping for a really long time was just black, and that's no fun. That is no fun. Got to bring in the color. So, also celebrated 2 years of Saturday YouTubes. Like we are today, our Saturday YouTubes. So in March, as I said, that'll be 3 years. We'll have a big celebration. Let me see. Concerts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 concerts. Those would be John Mayer, Sting, Garth Brooks, Chris Stapleton. This is such a weird assortment. Stevie Nicks and Usher. Yes, I have a little bit of a diverse taste in music. Kylie, yes, she would. Vicky would be proud. Vicky would have been super proud of me last week with all of the stenciling I did, the mixed media-ing I did. Carmen, April 1st was my grandparents' anniversary. LOL, my grandma was a jokester too. Oh, that's fun. I love it. Love it, love it. Stevie Nicks, oh my gosh, Scrapbook Sister. I can't even tell you. She still is so talented. I mean, she could belt it all out. There were just a couple of high notes that she needed just a little bit of assistance from her backup singers, but oh my gosh, amazing. All of those concerts were totally different, but every one of them was amazing. I love live music. I missed that so much during the pandemic. Love live music. All right, let's see what else we have here. We did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Harvey trips. Harvey's our RV. 7 trips in Harvey the RV. Travel. That's another big thing that Nick and I really like to do. So then we did, I won't even list all of those because that would take up the whole rest of the room. I have them listed over here, but I won't do that. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 5, 5, I don't know, non-Harvey trips, I guess. I don't know what to call it if it's not a Harvey trip. 5 trips that were in the RV. Actually, I guess that really makes, there's really 8 because I did not count, there's really 8 Harvey trips because I did not count our trip to the Rose Bowl. So I need to fix that. I'm just going to write over that with a little gel pen to erase it a tad. Kathy said, were all the concerts in Utah? Kathy, they were not. John Mayer was in Utah. Sting was in Las Vegas. Garth Brooks was in Utah. Chris Stapleton was in Chicago. Stevie Nicks was in Utah, and Usher was in Vegas. So no, not all in Utah. Although we get we're certainly not like LA. We don't get anywhere near the amazing variety of concerts that that like LA, Southern California area gets. But we get some okay ones. So now I can write over that. 8 trips in Harvey. All right. We had our 27th anniversary. Okay, we're almost done, guys. This. This was a big one for me. Started taking hormones. And that has been life-changing for the menopause. That was a big one for me this year. Vicky visited for 10 days, which was a blast. And that was, we went to Vegas to see Usher. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I have lots of other things to put on here. Let's see. I released 21 stamp sets, 12 rolls of washi, 29 project kits. When I was figuring those things out this morning, I'm like, oh my goodness, 29 project kits. That's a lot. That is a lot. And taught at 11 in-person or virtual events. Okay, so there we go. There's my year. That is my 2022 year in review. Carmen. Oh, Carmen, I think, yeah. Carmen did made a huge difference for you too. Hormones, yeah? Or last year. Yes, right, last year. Isn't that funny? We're still kind of in the weird this year, last year thing. Melissa said 3 years since the YouTube started means 3 years since I left California. These lists got me through my journey from California Mel to Chicago Melanie. I mean, Melissa, not Melanie. Melissa, I love that. I love that. Yes, that's when I first met you was California. And now I've seen you a couple times in California since you've moved to Chicago. So I love that I was a little part of that for you. Hi, Susan. Susan said, wow, very impressive. So great to see how your business has grown. It has. It has blown me away. It continues to blow me away. And that is you guys. You guys and your support continues to blow me away. It's all fun and games. And, well, let's be honest. It's not always fun and games. Yeah, not always fun and games. Most of the time it is, though. And I love what I have the opportunity to do and meet all of you amazing people, some in person and some this way. This, I don't know, is just popping out to me. I think we're going to put that little stamp right there. Why not? And then I was looking for something to go right here when I got so sidetracked. So let's look for something that could go right in there. There's a little star. No star. Oh, but this could be cute. This little ink. I don't know, maybe this little ink could go here. But if this ink goes over here, I am going to fussy cut. So this ink is on a little circle sticker, and I don't want it on the circle sticker, so I can just modify it. I'm just cutting that part away. Oh, I never did turn, speaking of hormones, I never did turn on the fan earlier like I said I was going to. Okay, little fussy cut. Now it won't like stand out so much. That little guy can just go right there. There's a little ink. And then we still are looking for something down here. So what if, I think a word strip. So let's look. So this is interesting. I love this collection, very fun. This is a very interesting choice of color, I think. Kind of that chartreuse in a collection. It kind of, yeah, it just really stands out. It's interesting. So let's look for something. What would we like to go here? Remember, this would work. Today would work. Oh, happy day. Oh, look at maybe this one that just says remember. Remember. Sure. But now I need something to go up next to it a little bit. So let's just pop that right there. We're still looking for something to go right up in there. And maybe that's where we'll have another little heart. And then we will call it good. Okay, heart options. There's a blue heart. There's not really any blue here, so I don't know. There's some blue in photos. Let's see what that would look like. If I'm going to use a heart, I think I need to lift up that sticker a little bit. And then maybe we go like this, where you have a little bit of heart, like that. And then maybe this is a little bit that way. How about that? There we go. There is the finished list for 2022 about last year. We are, you guys, we're starting to wrap up 2022, right? We have a few more lists. Actually, what I'm going to do, I am going to flip the camera. I'll turn off the lights, flip the camera, and then we will talk about what is happening next week when we're together, because we'll be together next week. Let me turn those off. Oh, the tool, Valerie. Yeah, that's an awesome tool. It is called, I think it's called the all-purpose tool. It is made by Creative Memories. And this, when I buy them, I don't carry them. I can't carry, Creative Memories tools. So when I buy them for myself, I buy them like 6 or 8 at a time, honestly, because this is, well, you saw what I just did with it. I lift stickers. That's all I use this for, is lifting stickers. It's just a really, there we go, multi-purpose tool. It's just super, super, super thin, so it's easy to kind of lift under. All right, flipping the camera, friends. 1, 2, 3. We've got a little peek at one of the studio lights in there that gets oh so hot. Okay, friends. Oh my goodness. Marathon. Well, not marathon session. That wasn't a marathon session. That was just 4 hours. Those of you that haven't been with me before and you're like, just 4 hours. Usually about twice a year. Actually, yes, twice a year. Once in May, once in March. We do like an all day session. We have a break in the middle. We do that in March to celebrate my 3 and 4 year anniversary. And then we do that in May for National Scrapbook Day. So stay tuned for those. But usually we end up about 3 hours, but today was much longer. We had to work through some stamping errors, and that's how we learn. That's how I learn. That's how we all learn. So I don't ever like to cover those up. I like you guys to see what I do to try to fix something, because we all do it, right? We all make the mistakes. Sometimes I think it's interesting to see how other people approach fixing a mistake. So that's what we do. We have another prize. So the first prize was, this is the one we didn't even get to. So let me think for a minute. The first prize that we talked about was this guy, the All the Things stamp set that I used in my list this week and last week. So the other prize I am going to move to next week, and I will swap out a different one. So let me just move that over here. I got to make a note in my book. So the other prize, let's do, how about the that new Bulletin More 2 stamp set? That is the stamp set I used that had the Santa on it, the little holly ivy on it, that had the flower on it. Brand new stamp set. So we'll do that. 2 stamp sets this time. There'll be 2 different winners. Let me just write that down. Bullets and More 2. The way that you participate in the giveaways is once the video is over, go back, leave a comment on the video. So not in the live chat, leave a comment on the video. That lets everyone participate and have the chance to win, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay. Leave a comment. Tell me What's one of the things, even if you're not listing with us, what's one of the things that would have been on your About Last Year 2022 list? Tell me one thing. Leave that in the comment, and right before we start next week, next Saturday the 14th, I will draw 2 random lucky winners to receive one each of those stamp sets. All right, friends. So a little housekeeping again. We will be together January 14th, 2023 and January 21st, 2023. We will not be together a couple of weeks in a row after that because I will be traveling. So best place to find that schedule is on my blog. So go to laylebymail.com, click on blog, and you will see the little graphic, maybe 4 or 5 little graphics in that will show you what the listing schedule is for January, February, March of 2023. So I've it planned out all the way. As far as our plan for next week, I keep carrying over one list. It's like I had a premonition that will happen because look at, there's my sticky that I just can move now. That is things I learned in 2022. So that is the first list that we will start next week. And then we need to do, I don't know, I was planning on 2 in the news, 1 in the news 2022 and 1 in the news December. We may end up skipping the December one. We may just go straight to in the news 2022. So we'll see. And then we'll be doing another one that is 2022 trends. Okay, that is another one that I like to do every year because I think that's a great way to recap a year, is 2022 trends. And I have a list of trends that I have been keeping track of all year. So if you don't want to do that research, you don't have to, because I'll have a list of trends that I will be adding to my list. Again, another time capsule list, really fun every year to go back and look at what the trends were for that list for that year. Colors, clothing, food sometimes, all different kinds of things. I always think how fun it would be to have a list like that from when I was in high school, because I'm sure we'd have like leg warmers on there. I tinted my hair pink. That was a big thing back when I was in high school. Oh yes, the bangs, the claw bangs and the Aquanet. That was a big thing. So just listing and keeping track of trends like that. So that is the third list that we'll be doing next week. Normally I don't share ahead of time what we'll be doing, but as we're still kind of trying to wrap up 22, those will be a couple more lists that we do. And then when we get to the 21st of January, that is when we'll start looking into 2023. So things you want to focus on, things that you're looking forward to. So there's just kind of your plan for my plan, your plan, our plan for the next couple of weeks that we are together listing. Okay. I've mentioned the Layle by Mail Facebook group a couple of times today. If you're not part of that Facebook group and you're on Facebook, go to Facebook, search for Layle by Mail Facebook group. There's a page and a group. The group is private. You just need to say, I want to be invited. And then I invite you, and then all is good. And that's kind of a fun place where people share squirrel memes after little Scatter the Squirrel. That's where sometimes I share my lists. I've not been very good at that lately as I run out of time. Different projects, different kits. But there are those of you that also like to share your lists in there, which I love because everyone gets to see my lists, but I don't get to see everyone else's lists, and other people don't get to see your list. So that's another fun thing that you can share. You can share, well, I shouldn't say whatever you want because, can't say that. But feel free to share most things. How about that? Most things in the group. No politics, no dirty language, no spam. I try to really watch out for that. And also no selling. Okay. Anyhow, there we go, friends. I will... 2023 year in review project kit started shipping today. Many more will be going out Monday. It'll probably take Monday through Thursday to get all those out. There's some big orders. So if you ordered that, just watch for your shipping confirmation email, and that will go out some point this week. So you can be watching for your kit. We will be doing that class the end of the month. I believe it's like January 31st, but I'll be sending out an email about that. All right, friends. Yeah, the Utah Claw. Carmen knows. Yes. Yeah, the hairspray with your bangs, like literally like they called it the claw. Heidi said that was so fun. I want to be prepared next time. Those are taking notes right now. Heidi, you know what? You don't have to be prepared at all. Some people list with me while I'm doing it. Other people are doing other things. They're working or they're just have me on in the background. And then some people will do their lists after the fact. So whatever works for you. I know lots of people do it differently. Anyhow, so just love that you joined. Oh, thanks. Nancy said she liked my sweater. Thank you. Oh, can you see my little collar too? It's a Dickie. Well, it's not a dickie. A dickie is really like, that could be a trend from, I don't know, like 1974, right? The little collar, little like turtleneck that you'd have that ended about right here in your shirt. This is that, but it's just a collar. It has 2 buttons right here and then it stops. So it's kind of fun. That way I don't get too hot when I have to wear a shirt underneath. I don't have to wear a shirt underneath. Anyhow, I'm rambling. All right, friends, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope to see you soon. Hope that you join us next weekend for some more listing. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Bye-bye. Bye.